Hey, yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the stream. How are we doing today? Let me turn that fucking down. That's loud. How is everybody? Good to see ya. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know if the audio's coming through all good. If there's anybody in chat, appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Guys, as well, if you're watching on the tubes, be sure to drop a like on the stream. It's very much appreciated. It helps out a lot as well. Love your faces for it also. Let me get chat up here. Where are we? There's me, restream. Back on you. Come here. There we go. Yo, what's going on, Neil? How you doing, fella? Hey, Equinox, what's going on? Yo, what's going on, Cypuri? Welcome to the stream. How goes it, guys? How's the weekend been treating you so far, man? You good? By the Mazer. PGR some news. Global, yeah, we were speaking about Global Sync the other day, actually. I'm getting cooked in a new way since it's last time. Yeah, I was going to say it's going to be all hands on deck if you're a PGR player and you want to get access to everything. Everything. Oh yeah, little FYI, guys, I did upload a video yesterday. I think it was yesterday, yeah. A little bit of a different kind of video than I usually do. Doing some theory crafting, some guesswork on Brant. Went into some reaching, basically. We were reaching hard. So yeah, check that out. Let me know what you think. So, well, actually, that video has. So share it to everybody who's checked it out. It's very much appreciated. Should have a video going up tomorrow as well. I did have one prepped to go for today. I thought, you know what? I'm gonna get it up tomorrow. It was supposed to go up at 11:30 this morning, but like 27 minutes past, so I just delayed it till tomorrow. So I'm doing good, dude. I'm doing good. Finally finished this. Oh, yeah, there is some videos. Let's go. Conversation on the way, so I have faith in Kuro. Yeah, I think it's still. Well, it's not so much a worry because I'm still behind anyway. So like I'm gonna have extra. Well, I guess it is a worry then. It's more just like in terms of events and content rather than characters. I feel like there'll be enough compensation that you'll be able to get all the stuff you want to get. It's just whether you'll be able to like do all the content or feel like you're not having to rush through it. If that makes sense. Because it'll be like what 2 to 3 patches every month, every 6 weeks or something. So you're looking at a patch every 2 weeks, aren't you? Really? Like a major update. Or a semi-major update, should we say. Right now, PGRs. It is actually. It deserves it as well. That's why I was saying that if Kuro can really do well on the PlayStation 5 launch, get the hype, you know, not just on PlayStation, but in general, and then do a crossover, cross-play, a collaboration event with PGR and Wooer. Right, let's get started then, shall we? How we doing, guys? How we doing? How we doing? Welcome, welcome. With the new map, we'll be able to play chest opening simulator again. I'm gonna bet 50% of the play base don't have a Black Rock shooter. Black Rock shooter. Where are we? See, I got a video going up tomorrow. It seems like Wuthering Waves is I think hit the drip marketing at the perfect time, hasn't it, really? Like, people are actually excited. Now, obviously, it's probably the circles, but I feel like the drip marketing for Wuthering Waves kind of outshone the Star Rail drip marketing. Maybe it's the circles, I mean, and I haven't really been looking at too much Star Rail stuff recently, but it just feels like, you know, it kind of outshone Star Rail for news. I think it's probably because they just showed off 5 like really good looking characters, didn't they? Like, would you guys say, in terms of like a group of characters shown off in a gacha game, that they were some of the best looking in regards to like 5 pretty like good looking characters? In my opinion, 3 that look really, really good. Like Zany looks great. Carlotta looks amazing in my opinion. And I think Brant looks really good as well. But Phoebe and Rochia looks good as well, even though Rochia is definitely not my sort of character design. I still think that like she looks good. I feel like it was one of the best group of characters shown off. It seems like, what is it, Zany seems to be everybody's favourite, to be fair. I mean, for Carlotta's the redesign at Chunya. She's the revamped Camilla, yeah. It's more about character players are already calculating and planning BC to make meta teams, but this new shatters everything. This affects free to play and low spenders more. You reckon? I suppose. I feel like there'll be enough rewards. It's just whether you can clock the events, I guess, to get the rewards, I guess, then. But PS5 Brethren are super hyped too. I hope it does. I hope the launch as well. Hopefully, they get the launch off the ground in a good way. 2.0 drops in a good state for the PlayStation. Got lots of good content to attack, haven't they? Can you react to Grey Raven Commandant versus Alpha Crimson Weave? Which is from Astinel. I was postulating over about how badly Genshin shields are going to shit themselves when they see Rinascita, and especially Russia. You can clearly see the... Oh, definitely, yeah. It kind of looks a little bit, not quite. Less water, shall we say. But it's a port city, so there is water. But it definitely does have like a Fontaine kind of vibes. I just hope there is parts of Rinascita that like have like that like dark vibe. Because well, they don't have to. Like for me, I'm okay with certain areas of the world not being this post-apocalyptic vibe, because not everywhere got hit with the lament, did it? Like, you know, it was like lots of areas, but there's the idea that, you know, some pockets of the world could have actually, you know, got through things largely unscathed. And Rinascita might be one of those areas, hasn't he? BGR features that would translate well into Wuthering Waves by a Smorticle. I'm definitely interested in that, because there is things within PGR that I'd like to see in Wither myself, actually, so... I mean, I want to slap that in. I'm going to slap that in as well. To react to Alpha versus Veronica Know You What. I think we might have watched that already. Feel like that. Yeah, we've watched that. Yeah, we've watched that. One from Rexland. Reggie is tweaking after seeing a new. I think I saw that video in my feed. Is anyone a fan? Makes sense, I'll consider his last video. Every character can have a 5-page long description of resonance ability. What do you reckon then now? Then what's the next step? What's the next step? Do you reckon, what? How many weeks is it now? We're looking at what? 5 weeks, just over 5 weeks? Till we see, 2.0? What do you reckon the potential of seeing maybe a character every week? On the run up to 2.0 now. I think that'd be a smart thing to do personally. You know, keep the hype going, show off a little bit more about the characters. You know, they could release potentially like 3 bits of drip marketing every week for each character, couldn't they? You know, backstory, like how they did with Camilla. You know, bit of a kit breakdown as well. And then we could get like a combat showcase, couldn't we? You know what I mean? And then obviously closer to the actual character release, and we could actually see a full-on what's the words? Resonator showcase. You know what I mean? Now we usually get just before the actual banner. So I was thinking, like, you know, that could mean then for the next 5 weeks they could have like three massive news drops per week up to the game, and keep that hype just going. you know, content creators will be all over it. I'll be all over it, you know. I feel the community would love that, you know, because they could do it, couldn't they? Because they did it with Cammy, you know. We got the well, we got 4 in a sense with Cammy, didn't we? Because we got the little backstory on the website, then we got the kit breakdown on the website, then we got the combat showcase, didn't we? And then we got the Resonator showcase. Now we wouldn't see the Resonator showcase because that'd come just prior to the actual banner, so they could give us the other 3 though, couldn't they? They shouldn't have drip marketed 5 characters. They did one by one, it would be more hype. Do you reckon? I think them trying to get ahead of leaks, weren't they? Because I haven't looked at any leaks recently, but I've already had people commenting on my videos that, like, I think this stuff was known by a lot of people anyway, wasn't it? New Federation Lawley song, so we finally get a Kaltaro companion quest, damn it. Yeah, because, like, that's the thing, we could have a really dark area, couldn't we? You know, where they've absolutely been bombarded by laments, like, over and over and over. Because that's the thing, like, they've got so many possibilities, haven't they? You know, you could have a place like Rinascita that was fairly untouched, that got lucky, maybe had some laments, but wasn't affected as much as other places. And we could go to some other areas that have just been consistently bombarded by larger scale and smaller laments over and over and over again until they're just absolute, like, you know, wastelands almost. Hopefully we get to experience some of that. But Zanny wasn't mentioned at all, I think. I don't know. I honestly haven't, I honestly haven't really looked at leak stuff since I stopped reacting to, like, Legion Wooer videos. I got no reason to. Honestly, like, straight up, for me, I'm not overly fussed in seeing leak stuff that much. I was only looking at them videos, really, for, like, to broke up my channel, and now I've, like, you know, as soon as Kuro was like, we don't want that, I'm like, alright, I ain't that bothered now. Using Danjin and hologram still she appears in story. Yeah, man, Danjin needs some love. They all need some love, actually. You know what I mean? They all need it. Even the characters I'm not even interested in, you know, like Yuanwu, Mordefi, you know, that'd be cool to get some extra story stuff. Zany looks cool though. What do you reckon she is? Zany might be like Lumi Case, which is a new 4-star character or 3 characters. Since Lumi at 1.2 doesn't even mention in leaks. Do you reckon? See, like, what's going on, Riley? Welcome to the stream as well. Like, out of those 5 characters, I was thinking about this because I keep hearing people saying that Brant's could be a free character, and that Carlotta could be a 4-star character. I just feel like the design on Carlotta's. And then again, though, we've seen some of the 4-star characters in this game, you know? Look at Lumi, like, ridiculous 4-star character. I don't know, though, man. I feel like Carlotta's, she just seems too much of a 5-star design. You know what I mean? For me, out of all the characters, if I had to say which I think potentially could be a 4-star character, it'd be, what is it, Rochia? You know, the little girl with the case. Well, it's hard to say. That's the thing with Kuro's designs. It's hard to say. Most games, you'd usually be able to be quite easy to see, like, oh, that's obviously the 4-star. But it's hard with Kuro, isn't it? 'Cause I'm like, the 4-stars look good as well, so it's hard to say. What do you think of the elements as well, the attributes? Like I say, I'm nailing my flag to the mast on my video with my reasoning for brand infusion. Could be absolute bollocks, you know, but I'm still going with it. I'm still going with it. Like, I feel like Carlotta could be, just looking at her really, could be Havoc or Glacio, but then it could just be one of those bait and switches from Kuro where it's just like, yeah, it's an aero character, you know? Where, like, nothing on the kit really, their character looks like that, but they actually are that. So I just feel like, you know how she's got those crystals that she could find, like, Havoc rounds or something like that? And that'd be kind of cool. But, like, one thing I do remember when we was looking at leaks is that there was all this talk about a Glacio gun character in 2.0, 2.1, so I guess that could be the deal, couldn't it? I prefer it that way too, Zanny is a free character. I don't want another free dude character since I'm not going to build one. Exposure. I don't know. I think it just depends on the character, the characters really. I think they'd have to be smart about it because they gave away an incredibly powerful free character before. I think they'd be a little bit silly if they did that again. You know, it's up to them, innit, really. Who's letting us guessing Theorycraft, the drip marketing, right? I like it, man. I like it. That's why I kind of like the fact that they dropped a bunch of stuff. It gives us a lot of food for thought. Oh, just to let everyone know, my YT name is about to change in a few days or so. So if you see Exiles LC, that'll be me, unless someone is already using it. All right, dude. You'll have to remind me as soon as you get in chat, bro. I'll forget. But I appreciate the heads up. But if I had one complaint to Kuro for 2.0 character, where's the skin exposure? I kind of like that though, man. Like, they're showing again that they can make, like, because to me, I think Carlotta's a beautiful character and zany, and there's like no skin, is there? You know what I mean? It's like, it's that sort of a beauty without it being like a, what do you call it? You know, like, that is a gorgeous ass character. We've got what? A little bit of shoulder, some forearms, and a little bit of thigh. You know what I mean? Like, already, she's one of my favourite looking characters, man. I love it. I love that, like, pink to blue to white sort of aesthetic I do. It's kind of like March 7th, you know what I mean? Zanny has too many fans already, so giving her free would be stupid and generate low revenue in other characters for sure. What's going on, Vez? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I agree. It's like, from what I've seen, the general consensus is that Zany seems to be the one that everybody's on. Seems to be like Zany, Carlotta, and Branton, the three favourites, which kind of makes sense. They probably are the best looking characters. I really like the look of Phoebe though, just for the fact that we've got a bit of a blonde character in the game that isn't Verena. You know, it's the NPC from Shezzy trailer. He looks like someone who is from the new region. So actually, yeah, could be, couldn't it? Carla is probably Havoc. That's what I'm thinking. You know, it's hard to say. Like, a Musket, you know, has got the potential to be Glacio, I guess, looking at it. But, like, obviously, we're just going off the colour here. This, you know, this crystal, it looks like this is potentially a round for a weapon, right? I'm thinking. You know, like, does she switch? Is this like an animation where she, like, pulls that out and pops another one in to reload the weapon? And this is like a Havoc based weapon that she fires Havoc rounds from. That'd be kind of cool though. It's Gun Glacier. Well, that's what people have, well, that's what we heard like ages ago, didn't we? The potential for a 2.0, 2.1 Glacier gun character. Brand number one pickup for me. If what people are saying is true. Why, what they're saying? What they're saying? So I think he's going to be Fusion. Like, in my head, I was thinking, like, if he's like a sub-DPS / support character, what if he's like, I didn't put this in the video, but I was thinking about it, like, he could just, like, it could be, like, in conjunction, he could fire his weapon, melee, or he could use his weapon to charge up his melee attack, and then that gets extra damage. I was saying as well about, like, him putting the mask on and that being his forte. You know, that's when he switches style from range to melee or melee to ranged. But what if his gun was actually like a buff or a heal? Like, when he fires his gun, like, that literally, like, I don't know, buffs on-field all characters on the team, or it potentially is a heal or, you know, something like that, like. Because if they did go down the route of it being like a flintlock, somebody did comment on my videos out though saying that they reckon it looks more like a harpoon gun. Which, looking at it, I kind of see what they're saying, but it's hard to see. I don't know if it's just his coat coming over the top of it that makes it kind of look like there might be a potential like harpoon there. But there's nothing on the rest of the gun that says to me that it's a harpoon gun. I still think it's a flintlock pistol. You know, like, going off the mask as well. I think he dons the mask when his forte is charged up, and that's when he switches style. Surprising Roger is the one who's Havoc. I was hoping for Carlotta to be the first gun character that can parry. Well, that's what I was saying in my video. I actually made a video talking about this. I think Brant might have the potential to do that. The fact that he's got a sword as well. You know what I mean? Both will work really well. Like, you just want to get energy regen on him, don't you, really? So, like, Moonlight's never a bad Watsy. You just want him on field and straight off again, don't you? To be using him in conjunction with, what's his face, anyway? If you're just using him straight as a sub DPS, like, for a Gian. You know, if you want to go more down the line of trying to build him more for damage, then Fusion would be a good way to go. But you can't go wrong with Moonlit, really, on quite a lot of the sub DPSs, can you? Yeah, interesting. We was right about the queso. We said in the initial reaction that the case to me looked like it was keeping something in rather than, because at first I was like, is it like luggage? Because we didn't know, did we? You know what I mean? I was thinking like, because I was getting the vibe of like Rinascita potentially being like this tourist place, which it obviously looks like it is. But he was right, it was to keep something in. So it'll be interesting to see how her combat works, man. Seems like she might potentially have some interesting combat as well. Just looking at all of this, like, is she going to throw this out and, like, how's this work, like, man? It'll be interesting to see. Do you reckon with Zany, she's going to be a gauntlet user, you reckon, yeah? Seems like she's looking to kick the shit out of people kind of thing to me. What's this on her? What's this on her shoulder? Is this like some kind of communication device or something? It looks like it's got a little wire coming out of it, yeah. I know, yeah, man. They're popping, aren't they? She's stacked, very stacked. Telling you, man. Freaking, what is it? The white hair supremacy. Posted this on my community tab. Straight up, man. Guru got me. Told you, man. Me and the white hair characters, and they got me again. People already calling new characters gay. Imagine Brant using swords in CQC, you hit E and then he jumps back and grabs his guns and fires 2 shots. Yeah. I just want to, Kuros seem to have a thing with white hair, don't they? And they've got me having a thing with white hair now. Yeah, I really think that hybrid style, quick plug as well, guys, quick plug. If you haven't checked out my video talking about Brant, check it out. I did fuck up on the editing though, you know. I fucked up on the editing right at the end. I'm a dumbass. You can see me tracking the video ready to put it in like and chop it up. Forgot I left it in. Yeah, I like the look of Phoebe as well, man. I think people are sleeping on Phoebe, personally. You know what I mean? And she looks like she's going to have the same sort of model type as Lumi, in my opinion. She looks like she might be shorter. Obviously, you can't really get that from the image because you've got no size comparison. It just looks like that, you know what I mean? Calcharo's white hair, what you saying? I know people were saying that, actually. There was like, well, what about Calcharo and Sanhua, man? I'm just happy that we've got a blonde character outside Marina, because I've been asking for that for a while. I really like her design, I do. I actually want Phoebe to be a sub-DPS, but the dark side already said that she's a DPS, so my asteroids. Hard to say. It's the thing, it's hard to say with, like, because in my head, I think support sustain, you know? But, like, obviously, it's Kuro that just, you know what I mean? That's what I kind of get. She feels like she'd be a healer, but I just don't think she is. I just love his design, I do. I really like his design. I love the... I've got this thing with this, like, pink and blue and white sort of stuff. I loved it about March 7th. I think that's why I really like Carlotta. I think she looks great, man. I think it's something about these watches that they do as well. You know, the boots with the stockings as well. I'm expecting a thigh expansion as well. All this hype makes me smile like I used to play PGI in 2021 and thinking they really should make an open world game and ended up rivaling top gacha games in only 6 months. Yeah, man, they're cooking, you know. Like I say, if they do well with 2.0, 2025 really could be a good year for Kuro. A good year. You know, PGR's doing well, they're catching up. Everybody's gonna... I think it's just gonna do good for PGR personally, if they do it right, of course. If they kill this update, and Rinascita's a good area, and he's got good content, and we've got good stuff added to the game, good characters, good story, all that sort of stuff. Pardon me. Comes out on PlayStation 5, you know, the launch is good. Could be massive, man. Could be massive. Anyway, I heard PGR are going to do syncing across all servers. Yeah, Global's coming into line with China now. Let's go, Neil. Let's go. Yeah, man. At the minute, it kind of feels like Gachas back a little bit, right? You know, obviously I ain't looked at the Star Rail stuff, but the Star Rail stuff, you know, Genshin's supposed to be having a bunch of stuff. You got this stuff going on with PGR. Aether Gazer's got his PC version. You know, they've synced up things, or they're syncing up. Have they synced up now, Aether Gazer? You know, we've got a bunch of games coming out. We've got Guilds Frontline 2 dropping in what? Just under 2 weeks. You know, massive couple of months ahead, I think. In the space. We're gonna be eating goods. Eating goods? Yeah, man, I'm hyped. Have they put anything up on the website, actually? I haven't looked since. Have a look. No. The resonates a bit, yeah. Nope. Carlotta, please release your coat in the middle of the forte. Ooh, that'd be kind of cool, actually, yeah. Where it just throws it off, like, and it's just the skirts or the dress she wears then. That'd be kind of cool, actually. Interested to see what it looks like from the back. It's like... She's got this off the shoulders, like, is this just on the sleeves? Like, it looks like it might be, I can't tell if it's separate at the back here. She's got this bit that comes off the skirt, hasn't she? And then it looks like this is just straight off the sleeves. Interested to see what it looks like at the back, but I feel like her hair's going to be covering a lot of it, isn't it? You know what I mean? It'd be cool if that just, like, whatever happens, it, like, burns off and this is all just exposed, like... I'm so here for her, man. I'm so here for her. Nah, no, Neo, no. Nah. That's one of the complaints that once you get up to higher levels in the game is that there's no increase really in items. You gotta tell me he gets a gold every time he does the forgeries. That motherfucker's the luckiest person then. I'll copy him and believe they disappear like Zhang Ling. Yeah, do you reckon that's what's going to happen with Brandt? The masks coming on when he's Forte bars full. Essentially, the switch in his gameplay. Boom, mask on, hats off. Dude's fucking, you know, going in. I definitely don't anyway. Feels like it's probably like 1 in 3 or 4 I feel like I'll get him. Sometimes I'll get a couple back to back, but it's hard to say really what my percentage. I've never really paid that much attention. But I definitely ain't getting it every time, that's for sure. That is for sure. Oh, that's sore throat, man. Alright, let's check out some videos then, shall we? Let's check out some videos. Alright, let's watch this one first. Cool, thanks for that.
Okay, so there's
Like, the zany love is real, isn't it? It's Senpai Zany might be the coolest character in WoA. Let me explain. Okay, I'm here for this because I think she does look cool, and she does look like she's actually, well, I guess maybe she does look like she's going to potentially have that cool factor, the aura, shall we say. But in terms of visuals, I'm still here for Carlotta, man. I'm here for that white hair, even though she's got white hair as well, though. But you know, like, yeah, I'm here for her as well.
okay, so there's something I need to tell you guys, and it's coming from the deepest part of my heart. There's a sacred rule that I need to abide by, and that is I can make content on any gacha game I like, as long as I don't obsess over the waifu characters, because my girlfriend would definitely eat me alive. However, I intend to break that rule just because of this character right here called Zhani. Now, why would you think...
Yeah, it sounds better than Zany, doesn't it, actually? She does look badass, though. Like, what do you reckon? Gauntlet user, yeah? She's got to be a gauntlet user, right? She's just got that aura, man. She looks like she's about to, you know, beat the shit out of people.
Senpai will break such a sacred rule and risk being split in two by his girlfriend. Well, the reason is quite simple. She is the only character after years...
What the hell was that bathtub as well? Is that a tacit discord? Do you know that bathtub that looks like a cat? What the fuck was that? Is that magic, or is that like a new tacit discord that's a cat bathtub? Like, that was weird.
Who has one of the best character designs that I've ever seen in the game so far, and this is purely subjective, by the way. Her eyes are one of the first things that stand out. They are bright red and sharp, giving her a piercing and intense look. She also kind of looks tired for some reason, which is totally relatable. Now, those horns are...
Let me cook. She's got a little green gem in her earring. What if they're just baiting us earring? She's straight up arrow. You know? An arrow sub DPS, maybe? I don't know.
Are super unique. They are dark and slightly curved, which adds some mysterious vibe to her and makes you wonder what kind of power she has or where she comes from. The horns might also have something to do with the kind of resonator that she is. My guess is a mutant type resonator like Kalcharu, whose resonance liberation allows him to mutate his body, altering his physical form and granting him strength and new abilities. It's possible that a similar thing is happening with Zhani. Another possibility is that she wasn't even human to begin with. Ling Yang's story quest revealed that the Wave 1 phenomena caused by the lament not only turned humans into resonators, but non-human entities as well, like himself.
That's a good point, actually, that is, isn't it? You know, what would she have been, though? Because those horns, very much like, if they are horns, look like, I don't know, they look quite demonic almost, don't they?
Who was not human to begin with, but was granted a human-like appearance with new abilities that turned him into a resonator. I'm just so hyped for her story quest to find out more about her. Her red tie is also a nice touch. It's
like, what's this? This is what gets me. What's this? You know? What's this little thing here? It's got some sort of wire coming out of it, you know? Those buttons are holding on for dear life, bro. You know? They are squealing. They are squealing. This arm patch as well. She's got to be like some, do you reckon like some kind of like, obviously she's from some sort of faction, but some like governmental arm or, you know, some type of military type faction potentially.
Simple, but stands out against the white shirt and brings some energy to her outfit. It makes her look sharp, professional, and ready for action. Her pants are sleek and fitted with gold accents that add a bit of flair.
Is this a timepiece, this? Is that what it is? Or I'm starting to think, I kind of think it is. It's got like the little button to flick down and to show the timepiece, yeah?
They also give off a classy and tactical feel, which is more practical for fighting, unlike Ian Lin, who
maybe Rinascita's version of Sanhua. Yeah, could be actually. Could be some sort of like
who somehow manages to fight in a full-on dress. For her
bodyguard slash security
sure
force.
She'll be a glacial wielder because the black color schemes in her design looks very similar to Sanhua, but with more white colors blended in, which makes more sense to me for her to be a glacial wielder. For her rarity though, I'm not too sure about her being a 5-star. She'll most likely be a 4-star because her design is quite simple and not too conspicuous, or doesn't stand out much when you compare her to other characters like Chan Li or Jian. Oh, and I forgot she was drip marketed with other characters as well. We've got Havoc Jinshi.
I suppose that is the point though. She's kind of the, I don't want to say plainest, but the like, the most subdued in terms of colour. Or we've also seen that doesn't like, you know, there's plenty of characters in the standard roster that are not like exceptionally contrasting in regards to the colour scheme. But I can see what he's saying. I just feel like that how hyped people are. If she turns out to be a 4-star, I feel like one, it's going to be a little bit disappointing for the people who are hyped for her. And two, you know, they're missing out on the opportunity to make a lot of revenue potentially.
Retro Lolly with a Pokemon, Husbando Pirate, and Navios Twin from Genshin Impact. I have to go and prepare myself for the torture my girlfriend is going to put me through tonight. Leave a like and subscribe. Bye-bye.
So please,
Oh, okay. That was short but sweet. Short but sweet. She's a good-looking character though. They all are, man. You know, even Roshi, like I say, not the kind of characters that I'm into. But I still like the colour palette. Like, she does look like a good character. The designs are all cooking. They're cooking on all of the designs, if you ask me. Those buttons better be canon in-game. Handheld speaker. She could be related to Scar or Encore. Possibilities are endless, aren't they? That's the ornament decorated with Rinascita sentinel pattern, I guess. I'm curious what that thing is on her arm. It's like almost like she kind of almost looks like a bouncer. You know what I mean? And what if she's got some sort of like connection to like Yuanwu or something? Maybe. I don't know. Don't know where I'm getting that from, but I'm getting it. Feel it in my waters, you know. All right, let's watch a Gamba AJ video, shall we? We ain't watched a Gamba AJ video for a while on the channel. I bet my guy has been going mental the last few days of all the drip. Actually, let me have a look. I bet he's been going mental, hasn't he? Yeah, dude's yeah, I thought so. I bet 30 seconds after the stuff went up on Twitter, Gamba had that sheet out ready to go. I'm surprised he didn't get more views than this, actually. I think, do you know what he's probably made the mistake of doing though here? He's done a video for individual. Dude gets more views than me, so I'm not questioning the YouTube knowledge. But you know, when you start pumping out more than 3 videos a day, you start to limit your 1, the video getting recommended, and 2, notifications. Because once you can pass three videos a day, YouTube starts to limit the notifications being sent out to people just to stop it spamming people's inbox. But yeah, dude's been at it. All right, let's check out what he's got to say in this video, then, shall we? What is it? Huge free-to-play problem. Prepare now before Wuthering Waves 2.0. There is a lot of characters to prep for, but these are not all going to be coming out in 2.0, are they? If they are, that's mental. I should imagine we're going to see this potentially over 2.0, 2.1, you know? If we're going to see the, you know, reruns and stuff like that being mixed in. And then, yo, Austin, thank you for the sub. And then maybe going into some back-to-back banners potentially. And we don't even know. Some of these, like I say, that could be 4 stars, couldn't they? So they could be running alongside some of the reruns. We just don't know yet, do we? But it is going to be rough. It's going to be rough for the free-to-play out there, definitely.
Yo,
so it's a good moment to prep now, really.
AJ here, back at it again with another video. And in today's video, guys, we have a lot to talk about. Obviously, I made a bunch of videos last night.
True, my boy Gamba's been going mental since day 1, right? Gamba's locked in. Dude, I swear to God, man. Gamba's there just refreshing Wuthering Waves Twitter every 2 minutes. Dude's in bed, like... You know, he's up straight downstairs on the computer.
Night covering the drip market, which was a crazy time. But we need to discuss a huge free-to-play problem that you guys are going to have and how we need to start prepping if you're...
End of the day, there's always going to be a free-to-play problem in a gacha game, isn't that? You know? Obviously, within different games, the problem's bigger. There's always going to be the free-to-play problem at the end of the day. You know, in a live service game, there's going to be a free-to-play problem. You're going to not get able to get access to some of it, or you're going to be having to, like, no-life the game to do so.
Free-to-play, and even as a light spender, you now need to start prepping with everything that's going on, and I'm going to offer a solution. And some things I am going to speculate, but I do believe are true because I was proven right before in even hours. You know,
man, look at that for a roster of characters, though. You know, come on, man. Kuro are cooking. They are cooking. You know, again, Russia, not really my kind of thing, but man, they all look great, don't they? Like, the more I look at Phoebe, the more I'm getting sold on her. I think she's a really good-looking character, actually. I can't wait to see what she actually is.
You know what I mean? When we talked about something, but first and foremost, if you like the content on the channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
What do you think the potential is as well? She could be somebody like, but then again, though, Carlotta could play that place. But I don't know, because the fact that she's kind of the remake of Camilla. But like we see her sitting down drinking a tea, is she like a Jinsey role? Or is it just because it's a more, you know, extravagant place that, you know, people sit down and have tea in their china cups? Or do you think Phoebe could potentially be like the leader of the area? Or could it be Brant, you know?
I thank you guys for supporting me.
It might not be any of them.
Lights on this channel. I want to be one of the top Wuthering Waves creators in space. Without further ado, let me not waste any more of your time. And let's
Phoebe's Verena all grown up.
Obviously, you guys are probably wondering, what am I talking about, AJ? What's going on? You know what I mean? We're just getting off the exciting 2.0 news. What do we got to worry about as the Wuthering Waves community, as a light spender and free to play? Well, the thing is, guys, as you guys can see right here, when 2.0 got announced and the teaser got announced, we got shown 5 big characters. Now, out of these 5 characters, right, guys, it's safe to assume that 3 of these characters are most likely going to be a 5-star. It would be cool if all of these characters were a 5-star, but I'm not worried about the meta potential or anything like that. I think Kuro's done a great job with every character that's a 4 or 5-star that they've released in terms of power, quality, animations, and everything like that. But these characters are peak, and it's an exciting thing, and I know people want them. However, I know a majority of you who are watching this video.
Hey, you know what? I've got to agree with Universe's list here. That's probably my order. We got Carlotta, Zany, Brant, Phoebe, Russia. And do you know what, though? I don't know, man. I wouldn't even be mad at swapping Phoebe and Zany, though. Like, it's, I don't know. There's something about her, man. Like, she kind of almost feels like she could like, easily fit into, like, reverse 1999 as well, don't you reckon?
Right now, and are clicked on and are curious about what I have to say. I know a lot of you have wasted astrites on Camilla, on her weapon, or let's say you did get her early and you have a bunch of leftover pulls. I know those leftover pulls now we're supposed to be going towards either Yinlin or Zhang Liao, not more so towards the character, but more so towards the weapon, considering that Yinlin has one of the most broken.
Yep. I made the mistake of skipping on that weapon. I have to get it this time. I've got to get Cammy's weapon, though, man. We might have to spend today to get Cammy's weapon, get it sorted and out the way.
You know, weapons in the game that's universally an amazing stat stick on all the, you know, basically her class, the rectifiers, I believe it's called. And this is now throwing a wrench in most of your guys' plans because of the fact that even if you do the math, you as free to play right now, if you're to save 60 astrite a day plus the events, right? Even with the events and even do a 2.0 coming out, you're really not going to be guaranteed all these characters. And if out of
that's why, really, what, 60 astrite a day? Just buy the pass. It's 90 a day. I get it if you're free to play. You're not free to play if you're buying the pass. But like for a $5, I get it. Not everybody can, or not everybody wants it. But I'm just saying, I think it's a great deal. You know, get the pass. $5 a month. It's one of the, they all kind of do that pass, don't they? It's one of the best things you can do in the games, really, in terms of you know, bang for your buck, I guess.
These 3 are 5
plus the 300 on top.
Believe at the start of 2.0, 2 of these, like 3 of these characters are going to be on that 2.0 patch. So I don't know who they'll throw, but let's give an example. Let's say Zany, Russia, and Carlotta, or you know, I'm gonna call her Carrot. I'm gonna call her Sia with the ghost type Pokemon, and Zany, right? Let's just do an example and say these 3 are the first characters. Well, if these 3 are the first characters, what
do you reckon, actually? What do you reckon? Who's coming first? How we thinking he's going down? You know? I've got a feeling the first characters that we're potentially going to see are, I feel like Brant. I feel like Brant and Zanny. I feel like, because Brant is a pirate dude, I feel like we'll meet him first. Or like, he'll be a name that's mentioned first at least anyway. I kind of feel like that. I feel like, Phoebe might be one of the latter characters we meet. And maybe Carlotta as well. I feel like Brant, Rochia, and Zanny might be the first three that we meet. The first that we're introduced to anyway. I'm just pulling that out my ass. I've got no reasoning beyond this other than the fact that he's a pirate. He's in the port. He's out the port. Maybe that's a reason why we see him later, though. He's off gallivanting around the world. We don't know,
One's obviously going to be a 4-star on one side of the banner, and then there you have your main banner character, and then the other one. And if you're excited for both of these characters, you're obviously going to go for their weapons as well. Or you can use an option. Maybe you have one of the weapons previously, but even just going for the character.
And a quick question as well, sorry to keep pausing here. Carlotta, is there going to be a new weapon type for ranged characters introduced into the game? Are we going to get or is it just a weapon model and that's just what it's going to look like? Which is literally, because it's going to be weird. If she's using dual pistols, but her weapon's a musket, you know what I mean? I feel like it'd be a cool way to introduce a whole new weapon style into the game.
At this point, guys, is tough.
Same with Brant as well, single.
We still are on a 50-50 basis. And that is another issue, is that it's still a gacha game. It's a 50-50. So you realistically can lose out. So you can't really even afford to go for Yinlin now and be like, man, I'm going to go for this character. And you don't want to be somebody who, when we get to 2.0, does not get a chance to pull on their favorite character or loses the 50-50, right? For that character that you really wanted during when that patch releases, right? And you're the one left out, not playing for it, playing with that character, waiting on them. The other thing is, to this, guys, is the rerun side. We haven't even talked about reruns yet. And they did Zhang Liao really...
Where are we at reruns now? Where are we at? Who's left to rerun? What we got left now? What we got? Obviously, we got Yinlin and Yao to come and go. Then after that, what we got? We got Chang Li. We got what? Jinxie. Zhe. And who else? Who else is left to rerun now? Re-up me, guys. Re-up me. Because I'm just thinking now they might, those will get involved with this as well with the 5 stars and, 5-star rerun, 5-star rerun, 5-star rerun. I forgot where we're at, man.
Really early. Like, they did not, do Jinxie or Chang Li, which tells me during 2.0, maybe Jinxie and Chang Li make a return, or maybe one of them just makes a return, considering how stacked this roster that they've shown off is for the first at least 2 patches.
I feel like as well, if we win Game of the Year, I don't think any of these will be a free character if we get a free character. I feel like they're holding back somebody. I feel like somebody's getting held back to potentially be pumped out as a free character. Maybe I'm wrong, but I kind of feel like that's the vibe. It'd be a lot more exciting as well if they did that.
Just because this looks like 2.0 and 2.1 right here. Now there is some lucky solutions, and these are out of our control, guys. 2 of these things, but I would recommend right now, if you're a light spender and you're only getting the battle pass, I would grab the monthly pass right now, just because your 60 astrite now go from 60 to 150, and every day for the next 5 weeks or something like that, when you do the math right there, you're a little bit over. Before, if you were to get it now until 2.0 comes out, you're going to be over, I believe, 7,500. So at least you get that much from just logging in and doing the dailies, you know what I mean? Plus whatever you get from events, and then the event when it comes out, when 2.0 comes out, new region, all the stuff from there, you get those astrites, so you have a better chance to pull on your character. The other thing I would do, if you're free to play, decide, are you going to stay free to play? And if you are, then you need to really start saving hard, not go for Yinlin, you know what I mean? Complete everything and just hope your luck is really good enough. Now, there is some solutions that we will talk.
Now, go for Yinlin. I don't know though, man. Yinlin's a really good character to add to your roster. I feel if you don't have Yinlin yet and you're free to play, oh man, because we don't know what their kits are going to be like. We want to go in off the visuals, you know what I mean? And Yinlin's a great character to have on your account. I feel like it's a risky well, not risky, you know, but I feel like you could potentially losing out on a lot by skipping Yinlin for potentially one of these characters if they're gonna, you know, whether they're gonna fill a role that she fills in that regard. It's one of them though, man. I think at the end of the day, free to play, sacrifices are gonna have to be made.
Talk about right here, and this one's out of our control. One of the things that could happen is, and I'm gonna talk about something that this one's out of our control, but something that's very likely as well, is the TGA. Now, remember guys, when I covered the video talking about the TGA, I said rewards would follow soon, like if they had even won the, you know what I mean, the Game Awards.
Risky's not having Yinlin, especially if Kuro decided to give her a skin.
The crazy thing is, just them getting the nomination
right,
or just getting the announcement, right? They rewarded us with 1,000 astrite. So if Kuro was, if you go over here to the Game Awards and you see the nominations again, if you haven't done your voting, go ahead and go support Wuthering Waves in that community.
I like it as well. Kuro dropped the 1,000 asteroids. Excuse me, dropped the 1,000 asteroids and then waited to drop the drip marketing, hoping that like everybody's splurged. Spent those, like, don't give them after the drip marketing because they might start saving them then.
I would say Kuro has a pretty good shot. Obviously, AFK Journey is a good one right there. It has PvP, but I don't know if AFK Journey will take it. I don't know much about Baltoro, but if you were to ask me my honest opinions,
Balatro looks like shit, if you ask me. Again, though, I don't play those sort of games, so apparently it's good, though. Apparently it's good. Yo, Pokemon TCG's fire. I must admit, it is really good. Yeah, for me, though, personally, it's between Zenlis and Woowa. I would want Wuthering Waves to win. That's what my heart says. I would want them to win. But I think it's between these two, really. But I just feel like it's Pokemon, man. It's Pokemon, you know. It's just like, it's going to be up there. You know it is.
Based on the games that I'm currently playing right now, it's between Woowa and Pokemon TCG to me. I think Pokemon TCG is a very good game, very free-to-play friendly. I think Woowa is an amazing game with high quality, and it keeps improving every patch. So right now, for me at least, and how I think it's going to go, I think it's a coin toss between these two for Mobile Game of the Year. The other thing...
The thing is, though, it's only like 10% of the audience gets to vote, though, isn't it? It's a 90% jury ceremony, so we're not going to have as bigger impact as we think. It's still going to be like, you know, it's one vote out of every 10 when you think about it, but it's only one vote out of every 10. We're only 10% of the actual, you know, voting power. So it's not going to have as big of impact as we think, but it's going to obviously potentially sway the judges as well. So it just depends, you know. Sometimes judges, depending where they're coming from, journalists and all that sort of stuff, tend to lean into the more like, you know, let's be edgy and like, so like there's a good chance something like Balatro could do really well just because it is this kind of like, it almost feels like it's the indie game within the AAA space. I'm not saying that these get, well, Pokemon and Zenlis are really, you know, because of the size of the companies behind them. But you know what I mean? It feels like an award ceremony in console gaming, and then there's that indie game, and it's like it's the cool thing, you know. It's the coffee and the laptop game, you know. I'm gonna write a book while I'm sitting in the cafe having a coffee, kind of thing, like so. You know, I feel like it potentially has a lot of chance in that regard.
Is if Kuro does win Mobile Game of the Year, they could do something big to celebrate for us. And that could be in the potential of maybe one of the 2.0 characters is going to be free. Maybe they just reward us with, I don't know, something huge, depending. It really is up to Kuro Games, but knowing how, like, just how rewarding they are as a company to their player base, for even the little...
What do you reckon? 5-star selector, free character, or just a bunch of asteroids? What you thinking? Or like some sort kind of like event, you know? Maybe they had like a ceremony, you know, like it's an actual like a week or two long event where there's a bunch of different game modes, events to run, you know, and that way you can unlock a character via the events potentially, something like that.
Things, right? It's not out of the realm of possibility for them to do something big for their community, their player base, and reward them. Now, the one that's most logical and could be like maybe something big is coming. If you guys remember here, during the 2.0 trailer and the announcement, the teaser, right? We got the announcement of the PlayStation 5 when it's going to basically, Wuthering Waves is coming to...
When is the award ceremony now? Is it the 4th?
PS5. This date is very, very important.
3 new region character and asteroid. 50k asteroid. Here's an all new area, and you get a character as well.
Because if you look at the
The
exact date, it's launching for console players on January 2nd. And that's a whole nother player base that people have talked about of, oh, people want to come in and play on their PS5. They're going to wait for the PS5. They don't
What's the
have their
relevancy?
PC, or they don't want to invest in a PC, right? And there's a decent amount of players that do want to come in from that side, and that's a huge accomplishment for Kuro. I would not be shocked, and this is the one I think is more likely, because we're relying on chance right here for this, that Kuro could do
Oh, does he
something.
reckon? Oh, is he thinking like we're getting some freebies when it drops on PlayStation? Is that what he's saying?
Celebrate the PS5 launch because it's a brand new bunch
okay.
of players.
I was trying to guess what's the relevance here in talking about the PS5 launch, but that makes sense, yeah.
a lot of content for them to grind
To
out
celebrate
and rewards,
PlayStation 5.
right, that they
Here's a
can
bunch
earn.
of shit.
But I wouldn't be surprised if, hey, thank you for 2.0.
Like I say, the part of me that wants Kuro to succeed, I really want the PlayStation 5 launch to do well. But then, if the PlayStation 5 launch doesn't do very well, we're in the money, boys. We're in the money.
Thank you for the year. Thank you for the nomination and, you know, new players coming in. That then they would reward players with maybe potentially a free character for 2.0. And that's just speculation, guys. Or they could reward us with a good amount of asteroid or something like that. But all in all, what I want to tell you guys is please start prepping. Please start saving pretty hard. If you had plans to pull Yinlin's weapon, you're really going to have to make a big decision right now for your account. Do you really want to invest in that weapon right now? Or do you want to play with one of the new characters and go after their weapon if there's a chance? These are just my thoughts. I wanted to get it out there quickly to you guys and talk to you guys about it. Just
Okay, man, it's Christmas. Tell people not to buy your shit. Just send me like, you know, money. Just PayPal me.
don't, you know what I mean? Look at the long term of your account, because it looks like a really big patch. It not even looks like, it is a big patch. The characters look amazing. The gameplay is probably going to be amazing. These are second generation now characters, because we're moving into a 2.0 bracket, and who knows how crazy they'll be and how meta defining they'll be. That's it for this video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for the support. It's been your boy AJ. I'm out. Peace.
Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, well, the obvious stated, really, innit? A lot of new characters, you know. FOMO rising, I guess. Because, you know, at the end of the day, this game can be cleared with a lot of the base characters anyway, you know? So you don't necessarily need to get to... This is a want, isn't it, when it comes to the stuff in the game? Like, you know, there's a lot of stuff that just makes things better, makes the gameplay more fun as well. And obviously we might see a change in the new areas, you know, that you potentially are going to start to need newer stuff. That's a thing. But yeah, this is just the age-old problem with being free to play. One, you don't spend money. But two, you just got to juggle certain stuff you're just going to have to miss out on, aren't you? You know, you're going to have to play the game more to get less, basically. That's just the way it works. And, you know, you've just got to prep yourself, decide, right, okay, what do I want more than the other thing? And just decide that you're going to skip on some stuff, and that's it. And then, you know, we've seen that reruns, you're not going to be waiting for a long time for stuff. So if you miss out on stuff, it's not the end of the world anyway. It's going to come back. So you just wait for the rerun, really, and you're good to go. You're good to go. Free Zany will be overkill, the most hype one up. See, like, I just feel like maybe, what if they just throw out a different character, you know? The holding, maybe there's 6 characters to show off. The holding one back in case the win Gamer of the Year. And then if not, they just chuck it into the rotation of the rest of the characters. Got no reasoning for that, huh? Just, you know. Shout out to everybody watching as well, guys. Be sure to drop a like on the stream if you enjoy it. It's much appreciated. Let's have a little look here. What's people seem to be saying Avowed looks is decent, yeah. We've got a Sticks video to check out as well. Give free brands. Yeah, man, I burnt to pull my luck on Changli, I did. When having trash looks in, it's like I'm going hard pity every single freaking weapon that's in the game, and it's annoying me, man. So it's kind of one of the reasons why I'm less likely to pull on weapons, because they've rinsed all my
Love it or hate it, there is
they've rinsed all of my asteroids. They're just gone. Like I only just got the fucking standard weapon banner last week. You know? That's how peak it's been. Game has to punish you, man. You burn your luck up in one banner, you have to pay it back fourfold. It's the gacha rules, isn't it? Alright, let's check out this video from Sticks. We love Sticks here. Insane upcoming gacha games similar to Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact in 2025 and beyond. Alright, what's on here then? What's on here? Project 2/3, Azure Premilia, Project Mugen, Nevertheless to Everness. They gotta be on there, right?
Love it or hate it, there is no denying that Genshin Impact spawned what is arguably an entire subgenre of gacha games.
True.
Not only did it inspire a style of video game, but also a business model.
What's the bet? The amazing gameplay that we got to see at Project Mugen looks nothing like that. I feel like Mugen is going to have a massive downgrade. I just feel it, because they said this whole time they've been polishing, and I'm just like, where the fuck's the gameplay been then? You know? I've just got this worry that it's going to be a huge downgrade, and I'm hoping it's been so long that everybody forgets what it looked like when they initially showed it off. I hope not.
Some of the best gacha releases of the last several years, Honkai Star Rail, Wuthering Waves, even some of the worst, like Legend of Neverland and Tower of Fantasy, wouldn't have existed without Genshin. But Genshin is beginning to show its age, which doesn't make it any less of a
Genshin's been showing its age for a while now, to be fair.
It is noticeable,
like across various factors, you know, its gacha system, its material system, you know, quality of life, and now it is starting to show its age visually, isn't it? You know, there's a lot of gacha games now that are coming out that you know, might not be as vast in scale. And I'm not saying that Genshin is an ugly game. It's not. But there's just, you know, like even when you look at things like PGR, like just things like the animations and stuff, man, it's got power crept on a multitude of different fronts, hasn't he?
Especially when you begin to compare it to upcoming titles. There are a number of upcoming gacha games that not only look to challenge the behemoth, but maybe even surpass it. Maybe one will, maybe several will, maybe Genshin will simply implode onto itself. Nobody can tell the future, but there is one thing that is absolutely unequivocally certain. That is that the future looks promising, and we're gonna need to take a loan out to afford it.
Yeah, we are entering the golden age of gacha games. I keep saying it, but I think it's true, man. You know, with all the games we've got coming up, with the games that we've got currently out, it's just a real good time. If you like gacha games and you like anime, RPGs, in whatever guise they come in, whether it's turn-based, whether it's instant action, whether it's, you know, ARPG style, whether it's open world style, you've got like a bountiful amount of games to choose from now and in the next year or two. It's going to be insane. You're not going to have time to play 50% of the to
all of this.
Now
let's go ahead and talk games.
Like,
we're going to tackle this list alphabetically.
Enfield as well, yeah, I forgot Enfield.
Arknights Enfield is developed by Hypergriff, the same studio behind Arknights, and is releasing cross-platform on both PC and mobile. It features a semi-open world, not nearly as large as Genshin or...
Future looks promising, but Bloodbath and Rapid EOS everywhere. Yeah, definitely. The competition's going to be stronger. Games are going to have to do something that little bit extra special. This is what I said about Wuthering Waves in regards to endgame and all that sort of stuff, keeping you on the game. Games have got to start sticking their head above the parapet now, aren't they? You can't just keep doing the same thing, not when everybody's vying for your time. And there's going to be a lot of victims of it, really.
But much more so than something like Honkai Star Rail, utilizes a more tactical hybrid action combat system that leaves time for players to reactively respond to different conditions, which is something very few games provide. We don't really have a tactical action game right
Enfield's
now
is like semi-open world though, isn't he?
Characters also look phenomenal. I'd give my hype levels about an 8 out of 10. Axis of Eternity is developed by Town Studio, and
it's got like it looks a bit more gritty as well, doesn't it? Enfield. Everything doesn't look, you know, when you look at like the actual footage of it, everything doesn't look like bright and flashy. It does look a little bit more gritty and post-apocalyptic, doesn't it?
An 8 out of 10. Axis of Eternity is developed by Tianshu Studio and is completely open world, features full action combat, and is releasing cross-platform onto both
I don't
PC
know about
and
this
mobile.
one.
It features a bright, vibrant aesthetic similar to Genshin, with combat arguably
I'm not gonna lie, that looks kind of shit. Honestly, this is definitely recorded off mobile, yeah, because that looks kind of whack. Or is it? Actually, it looks like Styx is playing it down here, so I'm going to assume this is on PC. Oh, I think I remember seeing him stream this, actually. Yeah, this kind of looks a bit jank, if you ask me.
much worse. There are
That
several
running
different
animation is
characters, some of which look
shite.
like Walmart Genshin characters. The studio have promised players a game that completely improves on every open world anime RPG available currently. Quite the grandiose goal, given their competition is Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves.
That was cool.
Honestly, this looks
What,
like
character,
Genshin
let's go.
Impact if
I'm
it were
sold.
executed by Tower Fantasy devs. I'd give my hype levels about a 3 out of 10. Azure Premilia is
it looks like a downgraded version of Terra Fantasy, if you ask me.
developed by Manju, the same people behind Azure Lane. It is completely open world, features full action combat, utilizes a functional mount system allowing for both aerial and land traversal, and is releasing cross-platform onto PC, PS5, and mobile. Once again, it's bright, it's fantasy, although where Gachas of Eternity looked significantly inferior, Azure Premilia does not. On the contrary, I think everything looks very high quality. Character models, combat animations.
I think it is one of the best looking in terms of polish and you know, quality levels. It doesn't. It looks incredibly high quality. Looks like there's a lot of money and resources gone into this game.
Effects. As an additive, Manju have given us something that both Genshin and Wuwa have failed to fully implement: mounts, both land and aerial, along with capturable.
The thing is, though, I think if you have mounts, you've got to make the world's got to it's got to work around the mount, hasn't it? And sometimes worlds that have mounts in can be very vacuous, can't they? You know, and sometimes they can feel a little bit empty in certain areas because everything's designed around the mount traversal. Now, like, they could have it like certain areas you just can't use mounts. I'll be down for that, though, actually, as well, because I think that's the best way to have mounts, in my opinion, is certain areas of the game. It's on foot, because it's a bit more about the on-foot traversal. You know, there might be more verticality. You got to get around places. And then for the long jaunts in between areas, having the mount as a good way to get around a bit quicker.
Creatures not in the form of echoes, like in Wuwa, but in the form of combat allies and farming, kind of like Palworld, where you can put your creatures to work. This is gonna potentially be very big. I'd give my hype levels about a 9 out of 10.
I think just having the Palworld type experience and the gacha experience, it's got the potential, in my opinion, Premilia has, not so much to be the best game, but to, like, kind of like, you know, be almost attempt to do the Genshin thing, break out of the mold of the niche of the gacha space, and actually get people hyped across multiple platforms, like, you know, kind of how Palworld did, you know, actually become this cultural moment in gaming for a little bit. Yeah, what's going on, Charlie? What's going on, Daniel? Welcome to the stream.
Outlawn is a segregated world hybrid action MMO developed by Nuverse, releasing cross-platform onto both PC and mobile. This has already existed within China for over a year now, with global supposedly coming at some point in 2024. Yeah, that never happened. The world isn't entirely open, rather it's more akin to a game like Legend of Neverland or Honkai Star Rail, where areas are explorable but separated by
These
small
boss battles look very MMO.
The combat is action, similar to Tower Fantasy. Honestly, this game is like Tower Fantasy on a smaller scale, for better or for worse. Mrs. Stinks actually played the global beta for this, if you're interested in checking that out. I'd give my hype levels about a 3 out of 10. Duet Night Abyss is a segregated world full
this looks cool, actually.
RPG developed by Hero Games.
I've been keeping my eye on this.
Platform on both PC and mobile. This is an interesting one, as yes, it features full action combat, but it's an amalgamation of traditional action combat and third-person shooter. This doesn't exist in the gacha genre at present. The closest we have to this is Snowbreak. Both Mrs. Six and I got to play the beta, and we had fun. And while the world is segregated, it was fun to explore. You could climb, you could wall run, you could interact with it in a number of interesting ways.
I think there's a space for that, though, isn't there? That segregated, semi-open world game. You know, we're going to have a lot of open world games. I think there's that, like, medium ground where it's not totally linear, but it's not fully open world. And the fact that it's this hybrid of melee and third-person shooter mechanics has got me happy.
Combat was fast and engaging. It still definitely needed a lot of work, though. So I'd give my hype levels about a 7 out of 10. Mnemonic White Shadow, or Rememento, whichever you prefer, is an open-world turn-based RPG developed
this does
by
actually look cool. This does.
Company, releasing onto mobile at present. It is unconfirmed if this is also releasing onto PC. Very little is known about the game at present.
I didn't know that. I'm pissed about that now, because this is a game that I'm actually looking forward to. And I really don't have to use a fucking emulator.
Especially how they plan on implementing turn-based instanced combat into an open-world RPG.
That's the thing that's quite interesting about it.
Aesthetically, it looks great. It looks bright, it looks vibrant, lots of bounce in their characters. I'd give my hype levels about a 6 out of 10. Neverness to Everness is an open-world action RPG developed by Hada Studio, the same people behind Tower Fantasy, releasing cross-platform onto PC, PS5, and mobile. It features a full open-world action combat and a mount
getting
system, but not in the
again.
traditional sense. Rather, players will obtain a car and drive it around the city. You'll catch buses, trams, trains. The game looked good aesthetically.
Oh, he said trams. I thought he said something else.
The urban fantasy theme, although I'm not sold on the character models. They look like upgraded Tower Fantasy characters, when Tower Fantasy's biggest failure to me was always how horribly undetailed they looked. I'd give my hype levels about a 7 out of 10. Before we go any further,
I'm looking forward to NTE. I am really looking forward to it.
To thank my incredible patrons over on Patreon and my YouTube channel members will allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are phenomenal, and I can't thank you all enough for the support. Now let's keep talking. A new Nikke game is in development at Shift Up, the same studio as Nikke. Very little is known about the game currently, but we do have a confirmation that it'll be releasing full.
Is this going to be the open world Nikke?
Fully cross-platform on PC and mobile. They have confirmed it will feature full action combat, but didn't state whether or not it'll have swords and magic or guns. It is also confirmed to be fully open world. They stated they plan on releasing it in 2027, which means that they're already making progress and have a set schedule, which is great. I'd give my hype levels about an 8 out of 10. Less if the characters look bad, more if they look at least as good as.
Do you reckon they're going to take some of the lessons learned from, was it Stellar Blade? You know, mixed with some of the stuff that they've really done well in Nikke, mashing that together, you know, give it a whirl, and then you got a good game.
Project 2/3 Utopia, developed by Diversity Game Studio, is an open world action RPG
This I am very much looking forward to. After I watched the trailer for this looks fire. Combat looks pretty decent. The mechanics in the world look great. The visuals are great. There looks like there's a lot of stuff to do. It's got like little platforming, 2D platforming stuff. I'm very much looking forward to this game.
As you can no doubt tell by watching its trailer, has taken significant inspiration from Gravity Rush. It features multi-dimensional travel, providing a plethora of different worlds and environments to explore, fast-paced action combat, a lot of interactable environments. You transition between both 2D and 3D worlds, blending a plethora of different game modes together to create what is arguably one of the most innovative upcoming gacha games on the horizon.
Give me that 2D platforming.
9 out of 10. Project Mugen is an open-world RPG developed by Naked Rain and NetEase, releasing cross-platform on PC, PS5, and mobile. Much like Neverness, this has an urban fantasy setting and was actually announced before Neverness was, surprisingly. It features everything Neverness does.
I think we're going to get the Ubisoft downgrade with Project Mugen. You know, when you initially saw the trailer for Watch Dogs, and then we got the gameplay, and they did it with a multitude of their other games. I think we're going to get Ubisofted with Project Mugen. I think when we see the actual game playing, it's going to look drastically less than this. Because look at this city. There's no way this is all traversable, right? This is fucking huge. And the gameplay looked ridiculous. And the fact that they just went radio silent for how long, I'm just like, something doesn't smell right, you know what I mean?
Action combat, urban setting. Although where I think Mugen is superior is definitely its character models. They look fantastic, but NetEase concerns me a little bit. It also features an interesting style of exploration in the form of swinging through the city like the new Spider-Man games. Unfortunately, they have been silent ever since their announcement, so we have no idea how far through the development process they are, or if the game will look completely different by the time it releases. I'd give my hype levels about an 8 out of 10. The 7 Deadly Sins Origin is an open-world RPG developed by Netmarble, releasing cross-platform on PC and mobile. The game has been in active development for several years now and is finally releasing new footage. But prior to that was radio silent concerningly. This game looks beautiful, crossover. It's bright, it's vibrant, which I know I've said repeatedly for games that share this aesthetic, but that's because it's true. Combat is action and it feels great. This has genuine potential and is set within the 7 Deadly Sins intellectual property, but Netmarble leaves me very concerned, since they destroyed Ni no Kuni Crossworlds and have been heavily pushing and implementing NFT and blockchain crap for the last year or two. I'd give my hype levels about a 5 out of 10, as long as they don't mess anything up. Unending Dawn is an open-world RPG developed by Parseus Fate Studio, releasing cross-platform onto PC, PS5, and potentially mobile. It utilizes a full-action combat system, with the game very definitely taking inspiration.
I think for the people who like the grittiness of something like Punishing Grey Raven, I think there's going to be a crossover here. I think if you're looking for that sort of setting, I think this is going to be the one. I'll be interested to see how the combat works, because obviously there's this idea of it kind of being a pseudo Souls-like game. It's just how does that get implemented into a gacha game? It'll be interesting, but it does look very good. And very, very, well, not very, but much more gritty than your typical gacha game anyway.
From a certain Souls franchise. This is going to be the hardcore gacha, the game that makes hologram fights look like a cakewalk in Wuwa. And it already looks like it will. This game isn't overly flashy, it's slower, more precise, and much more punishing. And I cannot wait to experience it. This is either going to be something absolutely...
Yeah, man, because that bit there, you fight a boss down here, don't you? So some of these areas are actually quite big, aren't they?
And I cannot wait to experience it. This is either going to be something absolutely sick.
I didn't see Limbus collaborating, no.
I'd give my hype levels about a 7 out of 10. Wangyua is an open-world RPG developed by Guangzhou Shiwa Network Technology Co. Limited, which is quite the mouthful, and not in a fun way, releasing cross-platform onto PC and mobile. Unfortunately, while an action RPG, it looks very rough around the edges still, but offers a lot in terms of variety from what currently already exists. Non-main story content will all be AI generated, with NPCs remembering you and your relationship with them growing over time.
Okay.
You'll be able to craft your own vehicle from any resource you see, kind of like in Tears of the...
Character designs don't look great though, do they? Yeah. Kind of lacking a little bit there, and I'm usually quite easygoing on that stuff.
Kingdom. While this could all lead to a very fun, very unique game, being unique is pointless if you look and feel like a cheap knockoff, which I hope doesn't ultimately
very much like a
this.
mobile game.
I'd give my hype levels about a 4 out of 10. Tunjing, also known in English as The Realm, is an open-world adventure shooter developed by Reflective Fox Studio, releasing cross-platform on PC and mobile. Only a single trailer has been released thus far.
I did not know he was going to track back to that, bro. I knew that was coming.
And have very little to base my opinion off of, but from what I've seen, it features both an action combat system and is simultaneously a third-person shooter with grappling, dodging, and multiple different weapon types. The world and environment
only worries the designs looks very Korean design.
Unknown. I'd give my hype levels about a 5 out of 10. And these are the games that we should ultimately be looking forward to. The games that we should be keeping an eye on, because one of them will likely be a major contender to current gen gacha games. Hey you, where do you think you're going? Don't you?
All right, some cool games on the list, you know. Obviously you gotta take into account Nikkei too. We've seen nothing but for it, but you know, Project 2/3 Utopia for me. Project Mugen I'm interested in because I'm just interested. Hopefully it looks like that. Neverness to Everness yet. Re-Remento I'm looking forward to, but that sucks that it's only coming to mobile. Duet Night Abyss as well. Premiere, of course, and Arknight Enfield. Yeah, this is what I'm saying, man. This is what I'm saying with Kuro. They have to cook on 2.0 on the PlayStation 5 launch. You know, they have to. Otherwise, with all the stuff that's coming out, there's a lot of competition out there, man. A lot of competition out there. I've got a sore throat, man. My throat is shagged. Telling you. Absolutely shagged. Feels like it's ripped to pieces, man. Because I had a beer last night and I had a bunch of pork crunch. Alright then. Let's have a look at this then. Okay?
Hi.
Let me pause that shit. Bring it back. Get rid of that. Bring you guys up so I can see what you guys are saying. Alright then, let's check out this one then. PGR features that would translate well into Wuthering Waves. As somebody who is a fan of both games, I've spoke about some of the stuff that I'd like to see come over from PGR into Wuthering Waves. Let's see what Smorticle's got to say about this. Then I'm going to drop a preemptive like. The video's good. We're going to subscribe. But yeah, let's see what he'd like to see and what he thinks would translate well from PGR into Wuwa then, shall we?
Hi, It's been a few
Give us a collab as well.
weeks since Wuthering Waves has come out, and personally, it's been awesome. But at the same time, having
Hold up. How old's this video? This is 4 months ago. I was thinking that it's just released. Like, what are we on about here, dude? This is old content.
the majority of the map swept, no quests left to do, completing the endgame content, and spending hours to grind echoes until the heat death of the universe, I became a bit bored. So
Okay.
I thought to myself, man, the Lamia patch cannot come any sooner. Wait, wrong game. Anyway, I got to thinking that it'd be fun to look at Kuro's previous game, Punishing Grey Raven, to think about what ideas I want to see implemented into Wuthering
Okay.
Waves at this point. This kind of comparison means more to me than comparing this game to Genshin Impact, because I want to see how Kuro has grown as a developer studio. You know, see how far they've come from PGR to BUBA. I want to know, what steps are they taking forward, or are they taking any steps back? And I'm not here to
I think they've definitely taken some steps back. In my opinion, I'd say WUA compared to PGR has been a little bit more than a sideways movement. It's almost been a diagonal movement, you know? It hasn't been this, like, huge jump up in quality, production, visuals, obviously voice acting, all that sort of stuff. It's evident, you know, there's been a massive leap forward. We've gone from Unity to Unreal. The quality in that regards, the resources are definitely more there, aren't they? For Wuthering Waves. But in a lot of other regards, there's been some steps backwards, and there's definitely just been like a bit of sidestepping as well. And a lot of the things I'd like to see, you know, push the game forward, hopefully we will see in the coming months as well.
talk about the harsh negatives for the game, which there are, and I'm saving that for another video.
Okay.
But I just want to have a fun discussion about what I want to see as a PGR player. But let it be known that maybe some of this might already be in development or down the pipeline, so who knows?
That's true.
It's a fun discussion to have.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Yeah, so I make these sort of videos regularly, like, you know, on my channel, talking about, like, oh, I'd like to see this, and I think it'd be cool if we got this, and Kuro need to start to do this, and people get so buttered sometimes about that. Games just come out, and it's like, oh, I get that, man, I get that, you know, and these things might happen. We're just talking about it, bro. Relax your butthole, chill out a second, and let's just have a discussion, you know what I mean?
Let's get into it. One of the things I was hoping Wuthering Waves would have before its release is something like PGR's Trial Zone, but much more advanced. You see, Trial Zones are...
It's gone backwards, hasn't it, there? It has gone backwards. You know, we've got something, I guess you could call similar, but very much less than. So yeah, that's a good point, actually. That is something that needed to take a step forward, which should have took a step forward. It really hasn't, has he?
Are basically a training arena with a dummy that allows you to get to know your character better, experiment with your teams, and practice your mechanical rotations. Instead, what
is it wrong that I want Shea to wrap her legs around my throat and lightly squeeze? Yeah, it seems natural enough to me.
we have in Wuthering Waves are character trial zones, which isn't bad. I mean, PGR also has that, but it's not the trial zone itself.
Yeah, it's a step backwards.
We'd benefit more from a more personalized custom training arena that allows us to test out our own rotations and see our current damage.
Agree. You can check out your damage numbers, your teams together, stuff like that. You know, actually like try different rotations, you know, practice animation, cancelling, all that sort of stuff, which I know you can do in the game in different ways, but not in a dedicated place like this. So yeah, it does feel like a step backwards. I agree with that.
Potential. This will also help us in practicing animation canceling techs. For instance, when I was learning how to swap cancel for Verena in order to maximize her control gauge efficiency and lowering her on-field time, so I can activate her ultra scale as fast as possible, I needed a place to practice this. Yeah. I realized that her character trial zone isn't the most reliable place to practice, as she's the only character there, so I can't really do much about it.
Yeah, true.
I had to work around this by testing her with my team, either in Towers of Adversity or just in the overworld. It's a bit inconvenient. Either way,
which the overworld's not great because you end up killing stuff and then you have to run around looking for stuff. The tower is obviously a little bit more of a competitive environment, which is a good way, I guess, as a baptism of fire. But when you want to practice, you don't really want to be doing the real deal, do you? You know, you want to be practicing somewhere to take it to somewhere like the tower, not be like, well, I guess I'll practice in the tower. You know what I mean? So you can't really practice really.
we'd all benefit from having a trial zone in Wuthering Waves. While we're at it, we should also
That's a
have
kill
one
shot.
of those minigame zones where we could practice dodging and parrying. It's a neat idea to build up your skill. That said, if we get a more robust trial zone similar to that of PGR's trial zone, that'd be awesome.
Ooh, okay.
In any game, buff icons, visuals, and even timers are not only useful, but it also feels really good because it's a strong indicator that you're definitely doing something or something is being done to you, even if you don't know what's going on. Currently, buffs are somewhat visible in a minor manner, like that one glow over your character from Varina's Ultra skill, but we'd benefit greatly if we actually had icons as well. Besides, this helps theory crafters as the icons would be able to give them an idea of when a buff is there or isn't there, and better optimize their rotations in a more
We do
accurate
get icons
manner,
now, don't
rather
we?
than just being like, well, that's my 30 seconds. Besides, we already have a debuff icon, so what's the harm in adding a buff icon? In PGR, we sort of have a similar problem, so it's more of an issue to address in both games. Technically, we do get indicators for specific activity modifiers, but that's it.
Yeah, okay.
As long as we get clear indicators of some sort for buffs and debuffs, it'd be nice to have. While we're at it, why not make crit numbers look different from normal numbers? It's more of a Monster Hunter thing than a PGR thing, even
I
though
agree with that.
PGR
They should
has
stand
that
out
as
more.
well.
They should
But,
stand out
you
more.
know, it's all about those numbers having the impact aside from it being a big number.
Yeah, they should stand out more, shouldn't they? You know, they should give that like oof, you know, that like the endorphins, you know, of the number stands out, it's bigger, it's a different color, it's bold, it's like, whoa, I'm doing big damage, man. You know, it's a placebo effect, but it's still a really good effect.
Which still feels good, but it can certainly feel even better.
Okay.
While we're on the topic of buffs and debuffs, you know what'd be cool? Time lag calculation. This mechanic in PGR is what stops all timers when executing a certain animation, namely ultimates. These timers also include buff and debuff timers, and in a way, feels more like a temporary pause button as well. The reason why
I'll just say this though, man. Kuro are an incredibly talented dev team. The shit they can do on Unity and a game that's 5 years old, like the gameplay progression, the animation progression in PGR is ridiculous. There's a video, actually, I don't know if I've got it in my watch later, comparing Genshin animations to PGR, and some of the animations on PGR just absolutely blow it out the water. It's insane.
I'm talking about this is because my PGR brain keeps thinking that I'm actually activating TLC whenever I use my Calcaro intro skill. Now, I could be wrong that TLC currently doesn't exist in the game, but no one's talking about it, and if they were, it would change a lot of things. It'd be big news. After all, in PGR, what separates Gen 1 frames from Gen 2 frames is that Gen 2 frames have TLC, which makes a massive difference in the value they bring to the table. Though, I will say, fundamentally, time lag calculation is actually really OP when put into practice, but even so, I think it'd be a cool thing to see in the game. Time lag calculation aside, I think we're ready to see some more Gen 2 mechanical characteristics. I'm talking about form or phase changes our characters would have that adds additional depth in their kits.
You got to be careful with though, like definitely the depth and the nuance for sure. I think you just got to be careful then because of the potential power creep possibilities. You know, not everything needs to come over because it works in one style of game doesn't necessarily mean it needs to come over. And again, I think you got to be careful with like you know the rise in like power creep for one, and you've got to be careful in getting the gameplay progression, the animation progression, the form progression without it actually like, you know, power creeping too much at the same time.
It'd be cool if they incorporate something along the lines of how Alpha Crimson Weave has her Kodachi in her neutral form, and then after ulting, she uses her Odachi, which brings a new lineup of movesets.
Hey, this is what I say, man. Again, for me, Brant, that's where I feel like Brant's going to be. I feel like Brant is going to be that, but rather than it being off his ult, he's going to forte and he's going to go from one particular style, whether it's melee or it's ranged or one version of ranged and melee to a different form of ranged and melee, or to just a different style altogether, like say swapping from ranged to melee or vice versa. I think he's going to potentially be the first character that we get that kind of works like that in Wuthering Waves. Although we've kind of got it, I guess you could say, with like a character like Camellia, but actually genuinely like a full-on, like a separate move set and style. It'd be interesting to see that. I think it'd be a really cool thing to add to the game as well.
Of course, her core passives connect the two stanzas together because the flow and rotations of the character is still important, and Eternal Flare deletes health bars. Aside from that, we are technically already seeing some
like Cammy, yeah, but just a little bit more to me.
To characters like Karenina Daybreak, but not to this extent. But imagine if they doubled down harder in that direction. That'd be cool. Now, this is most likely already down the pipeline, but I would like to see more of it. Stuff like Lee Hyperreal or Bianca Stigmata is super satisfying to play, and I think even now, their gameplay loop trumps what we currently have in Wuthering Waves. They've been moving in this direction for a while now, so I think we're due to having some more of this kind of design in Wuthering Waves, especially having moved from PGR to WoWA. I know someone out there might make a counter argument juxtaposed with some analogy saying, well, not everyone wants to play a charge blade. Well, first off, hello dual blade user, Genshin Impact is right there for you. Alright, that's kind of a joke. Gen 2 design have varying degrees of complexity. Aside from TLC being what sets them apart, some are arguably brain dead. Still never forget the comment about Bianca Stigmata being brain dead. Anyway, not all is lost if they decide to design their characters in that direction. Not to mention, the cool factor behind it is unparalleled. And remember, the core design of this game's combat has 40 circuits and concerto gauges, which is very expansive, so there's no harm in giving it a little bit more flair.
Yeah. It's the thing, like, I think what we've got there in terms of like the forte, the concerto, your intros, your outros, obviously everything else as well. There is so much potential for, you know, so many different layers to be added into the way the game works. And this is where I say, like, smarter minds have to prevail to do that, to give us more interesting stuff, to give us nuance, to give us cool, let's say, in that sense, second gen characters almost, but without, you know, power creeping previous gens. Maybe we're going to see that in 2.0. You know, like I said, check out my Brant video talking about my ideas around that. I might actually make a video talking about that in general now, because this has kind of inspired me to think about that we might be entering the second generation of resonators in a sense, and we're going to start to see something a little bit different in that regard. And maybe Brant's the first of those characters that starts to do that, and we start to see more of that coming, where we've got like, you know, well, I guess Cammy kind of was the first, really, in a sense, but like just a little bit more of a basic form. And my ideas and what I'm thinking about Brant, that could be the next gen in earnest, and we're going to see more of that within the game. You know, these two layered or two formed characters that they've got the base form which they do certain things, and I know we have with our forte circuits now, but do you know what I mean? A little bit more depth to it, because obviously our forte kind of acts like that in a way for a lot of characters, but it's a little bit more simplified, isn't it? Usually, where like I'm thinking the forte is literally, you know, you're going from Saiyan to Super Saiyan, and you've got a whole different set to work with. The character literally is a different character in its second form, and works in a different way, and you've got totally different ways of playing the character. I think it'd be kind of cool and interesting, to be fair.
Norman Revival Plan is a strange one, but stick with me here. This activity is a mining operation where you tackle combat challenges of increasing difficulty to unlock areas that increase the amount of currency you passively get from the activity itself. The currency can then be used to buy materials, in PGR's case, the upgrade materials for Cubs. The challenges themselves are also interesting, as they have modifiers that would make suggestions for you to use a certain type of team.
Yo, you know, watching this video is making me want to play PGR. Once we're done with 1.4, we are going hard on PGR.
Or go about things in a different way. There are other bits and bobs that goes into it, but I won't get into it because this isn't a Norman Revival Plan guide. Anyway, I think it'd be cool for us to get something like this where we can generate this passive income to buy materials like Echo upgrade materials every week, but we have to earn it by tackling some sort of dungeon that demands something specific from us. Aside from that, it's an endgame combat challenge, so why not have that anyway? Besides, we have a mining area, so why not have a set of combat dungeon mines there? It'd be cool.
I ain't gonna get into the whole thing with dungeons. You know my fucking my stance on that sort of stuff. So we'll pass over that like it didn't happen. Otherwise, I'll be going for 10 minutes.
This has to be in development down the line, right? Right? Technically speaking, lore-wise, we have a room arranged for us in the Magistrate. Didn't get to see it, but oh well. Anyway, a player-owned home is a very important piece of any game as it gives the player a physical manifestation of a place to belong. It's where they can express their creativity and potentially place their characters in there to see what they think. Personally, what I care about are the headpats in PG.
It gives that sort of headpat shit, yeah, man. I love that. Makes me feel weird doing it, but I'm still doing it. Yeah, I think a dorm system or like a housing system is a good feature to have, and I think especially in a game like a gacha game, and specifically obviously Wuthering Waves, is because it can allow you to be able to an extra way to get materials, an extra level of daily stuff to do as well. But also, like, it can be a place for, you know, customization and creation in regards to designing the place and potentially giving you a bit more of this, you know, I guess a parasocial connection with the characters in the game in a different way. And then they could add that with, like, you know, a level of, like, connection with the characters, and you build that up to get more from the character, and potentially, you know, little interactions with the character, rewards, that sort of stuff. Maybe even some sort of like potential farming buff with the character later down the line. You know, just little things like that.
It's important to me as a Blue Archive player, and it's especially good if you don't like a character because you can just neglect them. After all, every parent has a favorite child, and if you think your parent doesn't, I'm sorry to say, it's probably not you. Now, of course, dorms or POH in any gacha game has a functional purpose as well, generating currency to obtain materials and all that. So yeah, let's also have that. It'd be a nice quality of life addition to the game for sure.
Yeah.
Finally, I want to talk about something I feel like I will talk about in future videos about Wuthering Waves if this one isn't fulfilled. If you know what this is, well, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah. Gotta admit, I agree. I am not one of the people that doesn't like the soundtrack in Wuthering Waves, but that being said, this is why I'd kind of like a crossover for one, because I think some of the tunes within PGR are fucking banging, and people are like, it wouldn't work. I'm like, I don't care what you say, it would for me. But definitely, you know, get some Vanguard in there, man. You know, like we do need, especially for some bosses. And if we are going to start to get some hopeful end game content, you know, if we get like sort of a terror mode, like in Zenless Zone Zero or something like that, I want some, like, you know, something slapping in the background to go through that. I don't want it to be like this, you know, pretty music. I want to, like, I want to be hyped while I'm going through the levels, you know what I mean? And I think PGR definitely does that. Where the Vanguard based?
This is more of a criticism about the game than a suggestion of what I want to see. But I still want to see it, which is Vanguard Sound Studio working on Wuthering Waves music. For a long time now, Vanguard has worked with Kuro to produce the greatest bangers that shifted and elevated the experience of PGR. PGR would be so different if Vanguard wasn't there. Heck, I wouldn't even be a PGR player without them. As it stands, the music in Wuthering Waves is important. It's okay. If I'm being honest, okay. Perhaps I'm being a bit too generous here. Like, it's not.
No, I don't know. I suppose this is a video from 4 months ago. Like, you know, when I was playing through the Camellia Quest, music was on point. It was like, it was good. It elevated the quest line, you know? It was cinematic, it was evocative, and it was perfectly timed as well. But outside of those sort of moments, the music is just, it's all right, you know. There's some moments in the game when you hear particular things like, oh, that like sounds all right. You know, when you're in the open world, sometimes you get into combat with certain tacits, and that sort of, it almost sounds PGR like tune kicks in, and it's kind of like a dirty bass kind of line. I'm like, dude, I want more of that, man. And just because it's a fantasy world doesn't mean we can't have that sort of tunes. Like when I'm fighting enemies in fast-paced environments, you know, you want some beeline banging in the background, don't you? And some dirty bass lines as well. Like it's yeah, man. You know, get some like well, a bit of dope EDM in there as well, man, and fucking, you know, whatever. But just give me something that slaps.
Not what we've come to expect from Kuro games. And from my point of view, it's actually a bit disheartening to see some people criticize the music in Wuba, because it seems like it's representative of what Kuro is capable of musically. A friend once described the music to me as it being more ambient than music, and honestly, I can see where he's coming from.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I'm not only talking about the overall music. Even the boss music isn't really much of a standout, especially when I compare it to Kuro's previous title. Look, if you think that this is all they have to offer, let me tell you, when Kuro collabs with Vanguard Sound Studio, it's an entirely different story. The music that they make has so much character and it's super distinct. There's even Lamia, where they designed the music around a fight that takes place underwater. You gotta listen to it. And then there's Vanguard's contribution to PGR's marketing. You see, Vanguard produces not only high quality music, but alongside it, they also produce high quality videos utilizing visuals in certain areas of the game to drive the point home. And these videos brings eyes towards the game. Every time they drop a track on their
Music's
channel,
important,
the
man.
top PGR content creators go out of their way to talk about it in the comment section, because Vanguard knows how to burn a kitchen down. Look, there are people out there, myself included, who was brought into PGR because of Vanguard. And let's not forget that when Wuthering Waves was initially announced, Vanguard threw a video that teased a little bit of the world and a banger soundtrack for Wuthering Waves. It was really good and it made it feel like that was what the identity of Wuthering Waves is supposed to be, setting the bar on what we should expect.
Is it me, man? In a lot of the old footage we saw, I swear the characters seemed like they had fat heads.
You see, when I saw the initial announcement and the intent for the world of Wuba to revolve around sound, I thought Vanguard Sound Studio is going to have a field day for this game. And you know
Good point,
what?
actually.
Flow, the song they
That's a good point, actually. Not only is music incredibly important, because it is, but the fact that we've got a game that the whole essence of pretty much your combat, your abilities is all around resonance, sound waves, all that sort of stuff. You know, you'd think it'd be even more imperative to have that just slap, you know, to be like as good as it gets, wouldn't you?
made for Wuba was a snippet of what they could do. But right now, Flow is nowhere to be found in the game. And people are still waiting for Kuro
Like
to put
Terra
Flow
Fantasy.
in it.
Yeah, dude, man, the hands
People
are
still
massive in
waiting
Terra
for Vanguard
Fantasy.
Sound Studio to work
It's
on
freaky.
more songs for Wuba. Nowadays, all I do is layer PGR music by Vanguard Sound Studio over boss fights in Wuthering Waves, and I'll end up getting a much more elevated experience, like this.
It's true though, innit? It does change the whole vibe. You know, fights like this should be accompanied with a banger. I think sometimes it can almost help as well. It might be a placebo effect, but because these sort of combat's almost rhythmic in an essence, having that like really good music in the background, kind of like, you know, it all becomes an extension of your body, doesn't it?
Now, I could be wrong. Maybe Vanguard Sound Studio already has Halo Week or Ghost Final cooking something for Kuro. After all, these are longtime collaborators with Kuro. It's entirely possible. But until I see Vanguard throw up Kuro Games x Vanguard Sound Studio or Wuthering Waves x Vanguard Sound Studio, I'm going to keep talking about it. I really want to see them cook for this game aside from PGR.
Where is Vanguard Studios based then? Are they based in China, are they?
So yeah, that's all I have for now about what I would like to see from
Not that it
PGR
matters,
being
I'm just
implemented
curious.
into Wuthering Waves. They've put these ideas to work before, so why not do it again? Anyway, what do you think? Did I miss anything? What do you want to see from PGR that would be cool to have in WoWa? Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, because every like and subscription will get you closer to pulling a Jinshi. Trust me, I'm sure.
All right, good video, man. Good video. I agree with a lot of what he said, actually. I don't think there's anything there that will be like, what? What kind of a take was that? Yeah, I think there's plenty of things that could come over from PGR. There's plenty of things that could come from other games as well. Speaking of big hands in Tower of Fantasy, I think there's elements and particular things that could be brought over from that game as well, because they do a lot of things right amongst the myriad of things they do wrong. But yeah, great video that was. I'm definitely going to be subscribing to Schmortical. Show him some love, guys. Make some good content there. I have to check out some of his other videos. PGR OST makes you levitate. I like the Inferno Riders battle song. Yeah, there is some tunes within Wuthering Waves that I do like. I just think, you know, PGR's soundtrack does hit, man. It really does. Was it Vanguard Studios? That's not right. Vanguard Sound. I'm guessing they're based in China, yeah. Are they Chinese or Japanese? Oh, Chinese, yeah, I'm assuming. I'm guessing Japan then. Employ people from America, EU, and the HQ's in Shanghai. Okay, so the Chinese, yeah? Okay. Alright, man, yeah, fucking hell. I'm here for it, you know. I'm here for that, though. Should we have a look at this, let's have a look at this video, and then we're going to get into playing some,
release of Girls Frontline 2 is...
Alright. We gotta check this out, guys, because I'm hyped. I'm hyped for it. I'm hyped for this game. Is Girls Frontline 2 worth playing? Let's have a little look then, shall we? This is from Hexadays. Let's check it out.
The global release of Girls Frontline 2 is finally right around the corner, and I was able to play the game recently as part of the global
I'm here for this, man.
test.
I'm here for this.
It's hard for me to get excited for new gacha game releases with just how many mediocre titles
Who
are
needs more
constantly
death metal
coming
or
out.
at least some growing
But let's
cool?
just
I'll
say
be
that
happy
this
with some
one
of that
has
as well.
exceeded my expectations on
Needs to
nearly
hit,
all fronts.
you know what I mean?
For the gacha genre, this game is truly doing something unique, and it's doing it really well in my opinion. Well, I did play Girls
I'm hyped for this game. I am hyped for this game now. I think this is a game that I'm going to find myself grinding quite a lot.
Frontline
hope,
NeuroCloud
anyway.
for a bit at its release. I've never experienced the original Girls Frontline or any XCOM-like games, so I'm really approaching this one from a fresh perspective, and so far the game has
Never really played XCOM, but I played
In this
things
video,
like
I'll be
Wasteland.
going through the most important aspects of the game so that you can hopefully decide whether it is worth checking out for yourself. This is
Character
also a
models are
title I'm going to
ridiculous.
be covering leading up to and after the launch, so if you want to see
Gooning.
more
We're gonna be
Girls
gooning
Frontline
with this
2
one, boys.
content, consider subscribing to the channel. With that, let's jump right in. Girls Frontline 2 is a tactical turn-based RPG with 2D gameplay and 3D character models, and for those familiar with the XCOM franchise, the gameplay can be described as somewhat of an XCOM-like. This game has a post-apocalyptic aesthetic with realistic atmospheres and takes place in Eastern Europe in the year 2074, 12 years after the start of the original title, although the devs
Bruh, with the way things are going nowadays, man, this is sounding too real. This is sounding too close to home, bro.
have come out and stated that the story can be enjoyed independent of the original game. This story follows the commander of a now defunct private military company as he leads tactical dolls through a series of missions. The game is developed by Sunborn and is being published by either Sunborn or Howplay, depending on where you
Interesting. So, it's got to be like a Royce. That's weird, isn't it, that? So, like, Sunborn Darkwinter are doing, like, North America, the British Isles. But then, like, the majority of Europe, apart from, like, what is that, like, is that Switzerland or Liechtenstein or whatever it is, fucking being published by them as well. And then parts of southern freaking Eastern Europe as well. I've never really looked at map breakdowns of like published games like this, but it seems such a weird map breakdown that does. You typically would think like, you know, one publisher would pretty much deal with the Western audience, and then typically you'd have one that would deal with the Eastern audience, wouldn't you? But to have such a breakdown here of like different, like, you know, like the game countries bordering each other are literally getting different publishers. This just seems so weird to me, that does.
live in the world, which is kind of cringe, but it is what it is. The game should be releasing right around December 3rd. Girls Frontline 2 wastes no time getting you into combat, and I think that combat is where this game truly shines. As mentioned, gameplay is turn-based, with each member of your party performing their turn one at a time before the enemy team does the same. Characters, or tactical dolls as the game calls them, are able to move a certain number of tiles per turn, defined by their action points, and execute one of 4 available skills. Doll and enemy placement will affect...
I never playing XCOM. Playing like games like Wasteland though. Very similar system.
Affect the amount of damage that is dealt by a given attack. When units have a non-zero defense symbol next to them, referred to as your stability index, they're going to take 60% less damage, and cover is going to reduce this by an additional 25 to 35%. Enemies in the open will take 100% of incoming damage. Therefore, placement can play a massive role in the outcome of the fight. Story stages generally
the gameplay is a chore, but the character details are so good. Yeah, I think it's one of those games you're either into this or you're not, you know? It doesn't matter like what the game does in other areas. If this is not the kind of gameplay that you can actually have fun with, it's just not going to be for you. Now, for me, it's one of those type of gameplay styles that I do like if done well, but if it's just if it doesn't feel right in terms of the difficulty and the layout as well, the map design is incredibly important. It can be a real bummer. So far, it looks really good to me. But I can understand some people being like, yeah, nah, turn off, instant note for me.
Require you to kill all enemies
it's like turn-based for some people, isn't it?
Turns and without losing any units in order to
Who needs to train that snapback bill?
Other objectives can also be present to spice up the gameplay. Tactical dolls each have 4 active skills and 1 passive ability. Active skills may utilize skill points or require a certain...
Oh, okay, so we can see the range in terms of, I'm assuming, tiles, here. Okay.
Number of turns of cooldown. Enemies have similar mechanics, and there are a large number of unique enemy types in this game. Elite enemies, much like the dolls, have multiple active and passive skills along with movement mechanics. Other enemies may only have a single active skill, but have passive skills that can cause the enemy to launch an off-turn attack or detonate upon death, as some examples. As you progress through the story, stages become more complex by introducing things such as platforms and the ability to climb structures, conveyors, elevating cover, and lifts, as well as...
My worry is, though, that Sticks spoke about cheesing some of the stuff. That needs to be gone, because a game like this, it's one thing in an action game when you can cheese somewhere, but in a game like this, it will ruin the game if you can, like, brute force your way through content because of whatever reasoning. It's gotta work, you know, because in a strategic game like this, if there's no strategy, if positioning and playing right doesn't work, and you can kind of just brute force your way through, game's dead on arrival for me.
New enemy mechanics like action marks indicating enemy priorities and enemy alerts when being approached. While still in early game, I can say that the stage design feels quite fun, despite most early stages being easily cleared in auto. It's worth noting that stages can be run in 3x speed. There's an auto function really early on, and a playback feature which allows you to go back and redo already completed turns. This is a pretty awesome feature overall, allowing you to save time without having to reset these.
It's good that he's got the speed increase. That's a good thing, definitely. Obviously, when you're first playing the game, you want to, like, you know, just get used to everything, but like being able to knock the speed up, especially for like farming content as well. That's great.
Entirely. Being the based gacha game that Girls Frontline 2 is, all playable characters in this one are going to be female. Character models have some of, if not the best textures of any models that I've seen in a gacha game. But that said, character designs, in my opinion, do feel a bit samey and kind of plain, and don't carry,
and she feels like life from a Snowbreak,
the same uniqueness as characters in, for example, Nikki or Wuthering Waves. Dolls are going to fit into one of 4 archetypes. Bulwark, which are your tank type class with high survivability, plus buffs and counterattacks. Vanguards, which have high mobility and burst damage. Supports that can provide buffs, healing, skill points, and other support stuff. And Sentinels, which are your main damage dealers. Some skills can deal elemental damage, and both
new genre, pay to rub one out. Ain't that OnlyFans? People don't play gameplay a lot in gacha game. You're doing gameplay 90% of the time. The second should be characters. Any game, gameplay is king. If the gameplay is bad in a game, everything else really doesn't matter that much. You know, you can have a bad story and still have a good game. You can have bad visuals, still have a good game. You can have bad sound design and you've still got a good game. Now, all of these things elevate a game, but, you know, if you've got bad gameplay, you ain't got a game, have you? You know, that is what you're doing majority of the time. It's the part of the game that matters the most at the end of the day. So without it, yeah, man, it is the critical part of a game. Without it, man, you ain't got shit. Sadly, most of the best character outfits are still behind paid skins, so not very good if you were free to play Guna.
Enemies and dolls are weak to one or more elements. As far as weapons go, dolls can equip one of 7 weapon types: snipers, shotguns,
I like the weapon customization
rifles,
as well,
submachine guns, machine guns, blades, and handguns. Each weapon uses a specific type of ammo, and both dolls and enemies are weak to one or more ammo types.
Okay.
Like any good RPG, there are a few systems for increasing your character's stats.
Bro.
First, you have your standard character level and weapon level. Second, dolls have something referred to as a neural helix, which is functionally a skill tree.
Okay.
Your skill tree gives stats and something referred to as keys, which are equipped to provide additional passives and give you some control over your playstyle.
So do we actually have a branching system here where we're going to have to pick and choose? Because this is cool. Like, I like it when games do that, where like you can have resets, you know, so you can respec a character, but you have a branching path, so characters can be potentially built in different ways, not just you know, like I know you can in something like Wuthering Waves in regards to like your echoes or your weapons or whatever, and that sort of stuff. But it's nice when you have branching skill sets as well as potential gear, because the potential for making a character totally different. It's nice, isn't it? You know, if you choose one particular branch in a tree, you know, a character can really play in a different way and do different things for the team.
6 keys can be equipped on any character, 3 fixed keys, and 3 common keys. Fixed keys come from your neural helix progression and are...
And 3 points of confectance index at the start of the battle. Evolve key grants its correspondence. So this is like your gear then?
Doll specific, while common keys are universal and obtained from maxing out the neural helices of characters.
Oh, okay.
Third are your weapon attachments. These are effectively your gear and what you're going to spend most of
your... Oh, okay, so this is where your gear is really then. Okay, all right, that makes sense.
Your time farming at endgame. This is where RNG comes in. Weapon attachments come with stats and set effects when equipping 3 pieces from the same set. You can install 4 types of attachments per weapon. Barrels are going to have 4 substats, and all the other types are going to have 3. I feel like the game is actually pretty friendly when it comes to farming these items compared to the crazy RNG and some other gachas, although I'll have to see how this really plays out after the full release. You can target farm attachments from a pool of 2 different weapons and guarantee the set effect. Attachments can also be rerolled indefinitely, but this will not change the base stat, for example crit rate, or the initial rolls. Attachments can only be upgraded up to 200% of their base stats, so the initial rolls do play a pretty big factor. You can choose to accept,
so you are looking for them god rolls then, okay,
or drop attachment rerolls, which is a cool feature, but you're going to use the materials required to do so either way. When you hit level 45, you
kind of like that though, because it gives you a reason to rebuild gear, doesn't it? You know, you might have your weapon set up in a particular way, and then you do some farming, and boom, drop an item. You're like, holy shit, right? That one's going on my weapon now. I need to build that up.
You can use precision boost chips to further increase these stats. These are a more rare material obtained from your weeklies, so I'm thinking that these should be used pretty wisely. We just talked about the major progression paths for each character, but it wouldn't be a gacha game without a dupe system. You can activate a total of 6 dupes, increasing a doll's fortification level by cashing in 30 shards. You get shards by recruiting a dupe in the gacha. As of now, there are some ways to collect shards outside of the gacha system. For example, Sabrina shards can be purchased from the boss fight shop, and I would expect some other ways to acquire shards in the future. Okay, I've yapped enough about progression systems, so let's talk about exactly what the gameplay modes in Girls Frontline 2 are like. Well, of course, we have our standard campaign where we get to interact with the main story. Campaign has both normal and hard modes, and stages consist of normal stages, story stages, elite battles, and boss fights, and offer a good variety overall. Next, we've got our main farming stages where we're going to burn stamina to farm doll and weapon upgrade materials, weapon attachments, and neural helix upgrades. There's actually a pretty good amount of progression here with levels of increase.
2 seconds. All right, let's go.
Difficulty, which definitely feels good during the early game. These can be run in auto after clearing with full stars up to a total of 10 times at once. This occurs instantly. You're not waiting for the battles to finish in the background, so you can burn an entire day's stamina in under a minute. Finally, we've got our endgame type modes referred to as combat simulations.
Okay,
first up, we've got boss fight. The boss fight game mode has a weekly reset with 3 attempts per week. This mode has 8 difficulty tiers, which should provide some long-term progression. Rewards include premium currency and shop currency, and your income is based on your weekly score. The shop currency can be used to buy character shards, summons, upgrade materials, and weapon attachments. Next, we've got our combat exercises, which is a PvP game mode. This mode also has a weekly settlement with increasing rewards for higher ranks, as well as one-time rewards for rank ups. Rewards include premium currency and gold, and you're going to get 3 attempts.
Endgame doesn't look too bad then from the start. So in regards to uploading, I've had this channel for years as a choose to upload, but I literally ran out of things to say so quick. That's why Gacha Gamers get into fucking drama, bro. Same reason. Run out of things to say, talk about what new thing's gonna bring to the content. Fuck it, let's just start an argument
per day. This mode can actually be ran in manual, which isn't always common in gachas, so overall I'm looking forward to this one a lot. Before moving on, I do want to clarify that pull currency for both of these game modes is super free to play or casual friendly. The difference between bottom and top ranks is only about 1 pull, so there's not a lot to stress for here in my opinion. There's another PvP mode called Military Simulation, which I didn't unlock in the CBT,
PvP.
but requires achieving a certain high rank in combat exercise to access. Next, we've got Tower or a bit.
That's definitely going to be a place for Wales, I would imagine, yeah. You know, you've got to get to a certain level to get into it. I feel like that's where the big boys are going to be.
Type game modes with a number of stages of increasing difficulty. Peak value assessment gives points for capturing and maintaining control of certain areas on the map, while expansion drills seem to simply be a series of kind of standard stages of increasing difficulty. This is a good way to farm weapon attachments without using...
You're absolutely right about Flo. Do what you enjoy the most, man. Look at Pix over here stealing content and gooning. True. Well, Pix made me quit. He bullied me so badly I cried and punched the bathroom mirror. Like he hates me. He knows none of that's true.
Expansion drills are the only mode that resets less often than weekly.
I used to love hanging out in the old streams, man. I did.
How often this does happen in the CBT. This one gives a good amount of premium currency, but is also a way of farming boost chips for further enhancing weapon attachment stats. We just talked about quite a few game modes with weekly resets, so
I'm getting roasted about forgetting calculator.
Weekly missions like some other gachas have. Girls Frontline is just going to have dailies, which are super easy to complete by just logging in and kind of doing the bare minimum. The other 2 modes we haven't talked about anywhere.
This is the gooning part of the game, right? Where you get your characters looking like grippers out, you know what I mean? This is where you're going to see people who've like got 100 hours in the game, but have literally like done like 5 missions.
Else are the dorm system and dispatch room. Besides being your kind of cringe dating sim mode, the dorm system is where you give the dolls gifts, which grants stats that can't be gained anywhere else. And finally, dispatch room is exactly what it sounds like with passive material farming. Let's look at the gacha system before wrapping up with my final thoughts. The gacha in this one is kind of rough and takes clear inspiration from our favorite Hoyoverse gacha. In the CBT, we only had 2 banners to summon on, a beginner banner and a standard banner. The game has a one-time beginner procurement banner with a guaranteed elite doll at 50 pulls and 20% discount on each 10 pull. Pulling on this one is a no-brainer in my opinion. Aside from the 50 pull guarantee, rates are the same as the standard banner without the ability to pull elite weapons, so we'll just take a look at those.
Well, I'm not gonna lie though, I love the fact that she's always after food though.
Instead, the standard procurement banner gives a guaranteed elite doll or weapon at 80 pulls, with the probability starting to increase after 58 pulls. You've got a 0.6% probability of elite dolls and weapons, and a 6% probability for standard dolls and weapons. These are pretty low, but most of us are kind of used to similar rates by now. Every 10 pull guarantees a standard doll or weapon, and we've got a character selector at 260 pulls. There weren't any limited banners in the CBT, but from the
Hey, I kind of like the pull animation though, I'm not gonna lie.
Chinese server, we do know that the limited character banner has 80 pity and a 50-50. And
he's saying things here that I'm just like, most of this doesn't sound that bad in regards to the gacha system so far.
The limited weapon banner has 70 pity and a 75-25. You're guaranteed to...
Okay, so we haven't got a guaranteed weapon, but that's kind of typical. We just got used to Wuthering Waves, really. But 75-25, it's better than a 50-50 at least.
Get the rate up character or weapon the second time around if you do miss out the first time.
Okay.
Interestingly, you can dismantle weapons you don't want and exchange the materials for pulls and elite weapons in the shop, which is a really nice feature that I'd love to see more of. Dismantling purple weapons gives 18 out of the 30 currency needed to cash in for either a standard or premium pull, which is really awesome in my opinion. All right, let's wrap this up with my final thoughts. This is a game that I'm personally going to play on day 1 and plan to stick with. I've been following this game for years now, and with this as my first time playing it, I can say that it certainly did not disappoint. Some of the highlights from playing the test included the ability to use 120 FPS, a PC client with Steam release, Really good graphics with a kind of unique style, almost like an improved.
So we are going to be able to see who's gooning then. We are going to be able to see who's gooning a lot then, aren't we, really? We've seen, because we'll be able to see your errors and see what you've actually done. So we'll be knowing who's sitting in the dormitory jacking off.
Snowbreak, and easy to navigate UI with things like
That's why I'll be privating my Steam account soon.
character stats being very accessible in your battle mode, quick stamina usage at endgame, and just really satisfying and unique gameplay for a gacha. My biggest gripes at this time is really just that character designs feel pretty samey to me, and really only a couple of the characters caught my eye. I hope the devs don't plan to fix this with paid skins exclusively, because we've seen some pretty spicy ones. And if skin prices are anything like other games, we can probably expect them to be around $30 a pop. I purposely skipped story when I'm going through CBTs to not spoil myself, but I will say that these games are heavily carried by events and story, in my opinion, so I'll be very curious how the devs roll out these updates and if the events can stack up to something like Nikki. If so, this will likely be a title that can keep me around for quite some time. Well, that's all I've got for this one. If you made it to the...
Good video, man. You know, I'm going to drop him. I've already subbed to him. I don't realize when I did that. Alright, let's play some Weaver. Let's play some Wuthering Waves. Wuthering Waves. We can see the goon, right? I hope Jamie's all right. I thought, didn't he? Wasn't the boiler man supposed to be coming round to fix his boiler? Yeah, I swear, I'm allergic to money. Fucking, I must have logged out last time, man. I fucking hate that when you quit the game and I don't quit quick enough. It logs me out. Where's my book? Where's my book? The difference the game loads up now. Can't believe all that time I was playing on my fucking hard drive, man. Absolutely regarded. Absolutely regarded. Alt F or Alt Alt. Usually what I do is I just power and then I just task from the bottom like, but I just forgot to last time. Fucking piece of shit. Fuck you. Come on then, just give it me. How far am I in this bastard pity? Oh yeah. Fiddy. About 350. Alright, so max 30 pulls. So we got 30 pulls to go then. Because you know it's gonna be the case. You know it's gonna be the case. It's gonna happen. We're gonna have to go all the way. Okay, we got 2 to use. You. What? Alright, we got bottom left. Oh, we got asteroids. We got shoits. Every 40 wave plates gives me 1. Oh, it's got to spend our wave plates, and I guess we need to do some, really should do some tacit fields, really. Let's go do some. Alright, and, I'm thinking, should we farm some fusion? Let's farm some fusion. Let's do it. Yeah, man.
A good vantage point.
White hair for the win, boys. White hair for the win.
Okay.
Oh shit, we going on over there. Come on, it's because I got my fucking watch in, and going off the mission tracking rather than the fucking echo tacit field tracking, idiots. I was thinking, wait a minute, I don't remember going across the water for this. What's going on here? Getting 3-starred into poverty, right? Fucking blue, bro. I mean, I rewatched Mission Impossible last night. I forgot how good that film was. You know, the OG one, but well, not the OG.
At your disposal.
The one with the first Tom Cruise one in 96.
Diminish. Loading. The feeling of pain. I engraft you anew. Stay behind me. Lotus pervade.
Reborn from ancient struggle harder. Entertain me.
2 bones.
The lovely smell of all my
Let me watch it.
vitality sour. Stemming.
Wow, bro. We need to complete.
And twine.
No fucking cool,
From
dude.
the heart. Loading.
What a dirtbag. The scumbaggery of it all.
Engrave. Shackles be gone.
Bloom from ashen shell. Don't run. Keep the dance going. In war with time.
Reckon you could swim to 2.0 from here? I'm gonna say I highly doubt that.
Frozen blockade.
Sprout of budding seeds.
Right? You know? Give it a go, I guess. We can give it a try. Like, is 2.0 going to be an island, or is it just going to be a distant, you know, is it going to be like kind of what we've got now? You know, but like, you know, with this, but like, I don't know, up here or down here somewhere. So I'm just worried that it's an island and it's going to be small. Like, I hope it's not super small. I hope it's not. I'm confident it's not going to be, but you never know.
At your disposal.
At your disposal. Hey, what's up, Chase?
Loading. Astral modulation.
Astral modulation.
Stay behind like frigid death.
Map's gonna be massive. I hope you're right.
Cycle of corruption.
Reborn from ancient roots. Feed my blood.
I do hope you're right.
Self-deceivers. The lovely smell of crimson blossom. That's a fun. Loading. Oath from the heart. In war with time. Diminish.
Yeah, that'd be cool actually, wouldn't it? Would it? Like, yeah. I agree with that, Neil. It'd be cool if stuff like that actually is different.
Not worth mentioning.
Never even thought about things like that. Yeah, it would make it feel like a different region, wouldn't it? If like things like, you know, your chests and such like that actually look different. Never really thought of that. Good call. Good call. I finally got a male resonator. I actually made an entire video about Brant, actually. What do you guys reckon of my my ideas of why I think he's fusion? I think there were world claims of a deranged man. Going to absorb some echoes, then shall we? I might do some. Actually, how much of a. What's another go? 180. Yeah, let's do some.
The lovely smell of all my prey.
Some say he's a fusion buffer. That's kind of what I was talking about in my video. Some people did comment on it saying that they reckon he's a potential support sustain character.
Leave it to me.
Should be interesting.
Loading. Stay calm. Terminate. Diminish. I engraft you new.
Stay behind. Shackles be gone. Engrave. Caution.
From ashes, feed my blossoms. Self-deceivers.
Probably, I mean, you're lousy with bad takes and horrible ideas. All jokes aside, you're not wrong.
Vow from the soul.
And you guys always talk about being poor. You want to see poor? Huh? You want to see fucking poor? I'll show you poor. There's poor. Okay? That's fucking poor. Get on my level.
Astral modulation.
Stay behind. Frozen blockade.
What you got for me? Shite. 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 Shite.
Caution.
Loading.
Yeah, it's not even that I've just got no impulse control. That's what I'm always for. Plus, weapon pity is shite for me.
Terminate. war with time.
Stay behind me, like frigid death.
Bloom from ashes. Struggle harder. Entertain me. Let's have fun. The lovely smell of all my play. Vitality, show it! Feed my blossoms,
What?
self-deceivers.
Yep, too bad.
Vow from the soul at your disposal. Loading. I engraft you new.
Stay behind. Lotus pervade.
Reborn from ancient roots. Let's have fun.
Lost where he was then. I kind of want Brad to be a DPS of sorts. A pirate buffer doesn't sound that exciting to me. You need to have Rosie in the room with the rolled up newspaper. When you go into the convene page, hits you in the nose and says, no, no. I could do it, to be fair. You want it to be a DPS? I don't know. It could be, I guess. I just feel like it might be a... If what I think, it might be just a character to potentially, like, you know, be a... I'd like him to be a more dedicated support, if I'm honest, if he is going to be. But, like, you know, I mean, a more general support. Maybe it could be, like, a support that's designed a little bit to run with, Chang Li, maybe. Right, let's go do this. Let's fill me box. Get a water bottle like you squirted a cat or something. What? Nice. Oh, big one, big one. We got a big one. We got a big one, boys. We got a big one. Oh, that would have been sick if we'd have done that already. Oh my god, dirty. Oh, we filled it out, yeah. Okay. Oh shit, there's more! Oh yeah, I forgot there's more. This. Oh, okay, alright, okay, alright. 120. Any weapon, what's it? No? Thank you. Alright. And so the cycle goes again. Back to 0. Oh my god. Oh my god, Crow. Stop. Please. Stop. Stop. It's time to stop. I need to, what's it, don't I, go with some 3 echoes. The usual spot. Nah, blood, just swipe.
The lovely
A catitude to just start like that.
Loading. Diminish.
Catitude to just, you know.
Astral modulation.
Stay behind. Lotus pervade. Engrave. Not worth it.
Bloom from ashes. Struggle harder. Entertain me.
Yeah, this is true poverty. I was imagining Leela then when she was like, huh? Hiya!
Grafting, suffer.
That's what I want a character to do to Rover one of the days. You know, the way she just kicked him in the face off the fucking edge then. The kind of character to come in just to do that. You know? Zaynab will be like the #1 character if she does that. I feel like she's got that sort of, it looks like she's got the attitude. You know? Like she steps in somewhere and just straight in the jaw. And she gotta do some of this. Okay, we done this show. Okay, so what do I have to do? This other stuff first then. Rift runner. A rift runner. Hold up. What is, oh shit. Why is that one highlighted? Is because it's a new one. So the first one first, I guess. Where was he? Where was he? This one, yeah. Let's do this one first.
The lovely smell of all my prey.
Collection of dreams encroaching reality. Monsters from the dreams are nearby. Follow them. You'll find an open gateway. I can make it faster. Close that gateway. I'm catering a new meow. Oh, we're doing some
Entwine.
Stop, bitch. Really? Don't need to be backflipping, bro. Is this just like a new version of the parkour quest in a way?
The lovely smell of all my prey.
Dude, I love the sound of metaphor, man. You know that? Lumi can do these anyway, yeah. Oh shit. Fucked up. Fucked up. Oh fuck. Fucked up.
Wind against my vines.
Shut bloody door. Look, put wood in hole. Yeah, we just need rings to collect, don't we? That's what we need. I got fucking itchy head, man. I think we got fucking nits, bro. Fuck. Give me them goodies. Give me them goodies. What are these? Material used in repairing the Somnol. Collective. Oh, okay. I really need to get on top of these events, man. I ain't been doing shit. So that right there is why I hate using cabbage to get stuck on a vine. Yeah, it's kind of you can get that sometimes with what's her face. Fuck Jincy does it sometimes with a little like whatever you call it, animation.
The
A little floaty
lovely
animation
smell
videos as
of
well.
all my prey.
This is kind of cool though. I guess we could kind of say it's almost a mini game.
My prey.
You know, mini games mentioned. Mini bitch. characters am I hyped for in 2.0? I really like Carlotta. I'd probably say, I don't know, man, like, I really like Carlotta. I do really like the look of Brand, but at the same time, like, Phoebe and Zane, they all look good. They all look good. I'm like, I'm on the fence whether, I think it's number one, Carlotta for me. But I'm on the fence of whether, like, Phoebe goes second or Zane goes second. I don't know. I feel like Brandt's number 3, but then I'm like, well, if Phoebe's number 2, she shouldn't get down to number 4. I don't know, man. I feel like maybe it goes Carlotta, Brandt, Phoebe, Zany for me. Like, I think Phoebe looks really good. I've seen a lot of people saying, they don't like the look of Phoebe, but I'm like, what? It's our first blonde character outside of Verena, innit? And you know, she looks like she might have a Lumi model as well. Like, she'll be a little bit shorter, doesn't she? Right, how the fuck do I unlock this shit? What do I have to do to unlock that shit then? We're gonna wait on this. Is this time gated or something? Or what the fuck? How do I unlock it? Can I not do anything else then? More of a Phoebe guy. It's time gated. Oh, is he? Complete when the night knocks. Complete Dreamscape Odyssey Never Ending Inferno. So you can't replay them. Oh, bitch. Seed when the night knocks to unlock. What the fuck's it? Which one's that one then? Still need to finish this off as well. Okay. Alright, let's do some Depths of Elusive Realm then. Actually, I need to look at the challenges. Because I'm trying to do the challenges with the particular characters first, rather than blasting through them all. So we got one with Lumi, one with Encore, one with Arena, Calcharo, Mordefi. We've done the others, okay. So do we get on level 3 then? Can we do? I guess let's do Encore was one of them, wasn't it? What was it? Encore, Arena. Okay, let's do Encore then. I don't really know Encore, but fuck it. We'll do it. $22k asteroids and 17 yellow balls. I'll get to the doctors about that. Huh? When you're supposed to have 2, and I don't think they're supposed to look yellow. Dealing with basic attack, someone's Dreamscape Cloudy that deals fusion damage on takes less damage while casting heavy attack, Cloudy or Frenzy. Not a certain amount of the target's defense. Summoning Dreamscape Cloudy also summons Dreamscape Cosmos, dealing high fusion damage. Let's do the pair of friendship, yeah? It's me!